It is Monday, December the 22nd. We are officially in the week of Christmas. Where did the holiday season go? It feels like I just ate my turkey yesterday. But anyway, jam-packed show. College football playoff round one recap, wild NFL weekend, and of course, we got to talk some birds as well for all our Eagle fans. So do us a favor, kick back, relax, because a new episode of Unbiased starts right now. And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio, coming to you guys live tonight with an all-star lineup on the show tonight. Of course, we are joined by our two good friends, Dustin Reese, George G3 from the Dueling Aces, and of course, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams. Gentlemen, how are we tonight?
Doing good. Victory Monday.
Recovering.
It's a holiday week.
Oh, it's the holiday week, all right. Don't feel like it, but it is. All right, so listen up. Jam-packed show tonight. We'll get into the college football playoff first round. Yes, I'm going to just spoil it right now. I watched one game out of the two games out of the four. I think you can guess which two I did not watch. But we'll get into that later on in the show. I'm not going to waste my time on two games that were basically felt like I was watching week one. But we'll talk about that later.
Neither did the NCAA.
NFL Week 16. It was a wild one. And we're going to swipe through all of them. See, unlike somebody who swiped and... Listen, I'm telling you, DK Metcalf was only trying to teach that fan how to use Tinder. I'm telling you right now.
Not if you heard the reports of what the fan actually said.
Oh, actually, that's a whole nother story we'll get into. But we will be talking about that Lions-Steelers game. We'll be talking about the game over in Denver. We'll be talking about the game in Carolina. We got a bunch of big matchups that happened that we'll talk into. But to start the show, like Tyler said, it is Victory Monday. Tyler and I are very happy people right now because there is a little bit of some history breaking coming from Saturday. The Eagles, for the first time in 21 years, there is a repeat winner in the NFC East. Since the 2003-2004 Philadelphia Eagles, they are the first team to win the NFC East in back-to-back years. Jalen Hurts looked efficient. Saquon Barkley looked like he's getting a little hot. I'm telling you, I saw a man running angry on Saturday. I haven't seen that all year from him. I'm not saying he's been like lackadaisical, but he was running angry on Saturday. And of course, Vic Fangio and his defense once again just do what they do. Yes, I am in the understanding that it was the Washington Commanders who are basically playing JUCO players at this point in the year, including the famous, the definition of a journeyman that you can ever find in Josh Johnson. I can't believe this guy is still playing in the NFL. So, yes, I'm aware that's what we went up against on Saturday. But guess what? After the first 3 months of the season, what my team had to go through, going through the gauntlet from hell of a schedule, because that's what we faced this year, I don't care who we play over the past 2 weeks. We've earned a little bit of this. As George once again froze up on us, so he'll be back in a moment. But... yes, Eagles win the NFC East. So basically, I want to get a good question out here real quick because this is something that's been the talk. And it's been the talk here on Unbiased. We've talked about this plenty. We've been on both sides of it. Given the fact that they are now the NFC East champs back-to-back years, they're heading back into the postseason, probably no worse than the 3 seed. because I don't think they're going to fall behind the winner of the NFC South. That would be a catastrophe. But we'll talk about that another day. Tyler and I, of course, can give our answers, and having some outsiders' opinions as well. It's always welcome because it's nice to have people that look at the Eagles from a different aspect. Have the Eagles, mostly Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, head coach, quarterback, they're tied at the hip when they're on an NFL team. Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, all this. Have they been overly criticized? Just in the city of Philadelphia. I'm talking nationally, the entire country when it comes to talking about football. Have the Eagles been over criticized? Probably over the past, I say at least 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming you want to kick this off then.
If you look at majority of the other NFL teams, you could probably even find flaws with all of them aside from the Chiefs. What coach over the last 3 years has won more? Which quarterback over the last 3 years has won more?
Sam Darnold. Game-wise, if you're going regular season wins, Sam Darnold has the most regular season wins the last 2 years. Obviously, it doesn't have a championship, but
that's only over the last couple of years, the last 2 years. Because then if we look at the year before that, he's stuck in Carolina doing God knows what.
hanging out, having fun.
But I do believe that this team, and I think it's more of a Philadelphia sports thing. I feel like everyone from the fans, media, they hold these teams to a higher standard.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's unfair. But then it also brings a drive as far for the Philadelphia Eagles, I could say, to actually get to these championship games and actually win them. Sorry, Sam. Can't say that for the Sixers. Can't say that for the Phillies right now.
Well, here you can go here to Anthony's comment because I don't understand what else do we have to talk about trusting Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts still isn't my main issue. While, yes, the offense has looked better over the last 2 weeks against the Raiders, one of the worst defenses in the league, and against the Commanders, up there and probably one of the worst defenses in the league.
Mm-hmm.
It is nice to still see things flowing and see what could happen when things work. Now, this Buffalo game is going to be very telling. They're going to be a tough team to beat. I don't think their defense is that good either. So it really comes down to how are the Eagles going to respond to slow down Josh Allen. But I'm not going to get too much into next week because that's for Friday night gridiron picks. But to answer your question again, Sam, I do believe that Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, and this team are overly criticized by everyone, and sometimes unfairly. I mean, you're not going to play 17 perfect games out of the course of the season. It's not going to happen. You're going to have losses. Some might look better than others, but a loss is a loss. There is no pretty loss.
No.
But
and again,
for Anthony's statement about to go deep in the playoffs, there's something about Hurts he doesn't trust. I think this team, while they're not my favorite to win the NFC Championship, I think that they have a very good chance at beating any team that they might come up against. And it might be a close game. And it probably will come down to, can the offense put up another score or get in field goal range? And it might come down to that. But I think they could win some close games against any of these teams.
Would either of our outsider opinions like to give their thoughts on this first, and I'll go last?
I mean, we've seen Jalen Hurts perform at the biggest stage, obviously, in the playoffs. But the one knock that I have on not necessarily Jalen Hurts, But the Eagles itself this season is they haven't played up to their abilities against a good opponent this year. Basically, the teams that they have beaten are teams they should beat. And then the teams that they're losing to, they've either played down to their opponents or they just haven't been able to play Philadelphia-style football. The game
I
against
will only caveat that to the Rams.
the
and
Rams
maybe the
game, I'm not
Buccaneers early.
caveating. The Rams game, I'm taking out of the equation because you had 2 blocked field goals. The chances of that happening ever again in a game is slim to none. That's why I don't count that game in there too, because you had 2 blocked field goals that ultimately dictated that game. And that's something that happens once every 30, 40 years. But like you look at this game with the Bills, not only is this basically a measuring stick for where the Eagles are right now compared to kind of when they had their midseason struggles, but you have a Buffalo team that still wants to win the AFC East. That still has a chance to win the AFC East. Not a good chance, but they have a chance. But they're also playing in front of the fans in their stadium for the final 2 times before they move to their new stadium. Buffalo's going to be insane the next 2 weekends, regardless who goes in there. So, like you said, I don't like Buffalo's defense, but with the environment that stadium is going to have next weekend against Philly, that's going to be a huge motivation factor for Buffalo, knowing that these could be the final 2 games they ever play in that stadium.
Okay. So, my thing with this whole thing is, first off, I'm again, what Anthony's comment is about something he doesn't trust about Jalen Hurts. Are we talking about the same Jalen Hurts that outperformed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Not once, but twice. Yes, not once, but twice. Beating him in one and should have beat him in the other. What else in what regard what else do I have to see to prove that I trust the guy? I could make the case for a bunch of guys I don't trust.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, like
ever since the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes has not been the same. And I said that for the past several months, and somebody else didn't believe me.
It's not that it's not that he hasn't been the same. The team itself hasn't been the same, because you look at what's happened the last 2 weeks now.
I've seen, yeah.
Mahomes goes down with a torn ACL. Down with a torn ACL.
I'm saying I've seen it for the past 2 months, and it's because everybody's on to it. Everybody is onto the system, and the defense, unfortunately, can't sit there and hold up their end. And then the right-hand side of the line can't hold up their end.
Just the right-hand side?
Has been the...
That's the whole line.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could pretty much go the whole line. But I'm just saying, it's not been the same. And that's why I said 2 months ago, the Chiefs were not going to make the playoffs. They were not going anywhere except home. And right now, that's exactly where they're headed.
Going
across the county, they're going across the state lines in a couple of years. So that move's happening. But yes, I'm the one who flat out said they weren't going to get there. I knew it then, and it's been a proven fact now.
Up until like 4 weeks ago, though, a lot of their struggles were on Mahomes, because statistically he was having the best season he's had since 2019. Fewest interceptions he's had since 2019. He was on pace to have the most touchdown passes he's had since 2021. Like, statistically speaking, Mahomes is playing very well for 10 weeks. But then the injuries started to happen again, which is what derailed Kansas City at the midway point last season when they lost Pacheco, when they lost Rashee Rice and some of those key pieces last year. The Chiefs are very similar to what the Lions have done the last 2 years. They have been brutally injured in basically every aspect of offense and defense, to the point where...
But who was injured? Who was the primary key piece that was injured 3 weeks ago? Nobody.
On the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Pacheco. Pacheco hasn't been 100% since week 4. And when
Pacheco
But when he's healthy, that offense.
Pacheco hasn't been.
But when he's healthy, that offense is different because you're going from a guy in Pacheco who you know you can give 20, 25 touches to now all of a sudden having to give Kareem Hunt 20, 25 touches. Kareem Hunt is not a guy that you can give 20, 25 touches to anymore.
I think Pacheco's washed. I think he was.
I think he's washed too. That leg injury, I think, is what washed him. That injury.
I was going to say, I don't think Pacheco's been healthy since last year.
Yeah, I think that leg injury that he suffered last year was a lot worse than what people thought. And I think he came too soon.
Now, I want to go back.
Kelsey's checked out, though. Kelsey's, I think, done with football. He's completely checked out.
Oh, yeah.
Kelsey's been done with football. Now, real quickly here,
I ain't gonna say he's been whooped, but hey.
Now, hold on, one quick second here. I got one thing to say here. I'm going back to that Rams game for a second because, okay, yes, I can understandably so. Because first of all, I'm not done with Anthony's comment here, what he said about this year, and I'm going to get back to that in a second. But, okay, it's uncalled for to see 2 blocked field goals, which basically gave the Eagles a chance to win the game. Are we just going to forget? Now, here's the thing, right? We talk about standards. Is blowing a 26-7 lead the Rams standard? Because that defense has blown some leads now. They blew that one. They just blew one last week. So what's their standard? So I understand the 2 block field goals happened, but let's not forget that what took to get to 2 block field goals. But before I get into that real quick, Anthony's talking about not trusting Jalen Hurts this year. Jalen Hurts has been the only reason the offense has actually looked somewhat decent in most weeks. Jalen Hurts is the one that brought him back against the Rams. Jalen Hurts is the one that, at the time, the Vikings had the best, I was told, the best passing defense in the NFL, and he had a perfect passer rating against them. Well, Jalen Hurts has technically he's already been better than last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's already got more passing yards than last year. He's got a career high in passing touchdowns this year. Mm-hmm. I'm on the verge of saying something that, and now this I'm going to refer over real quickly. I'm keeping it with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, but now I'm going to go to Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni lost. I was told it was going to happen again. Oh, he lost Kellen Moore, so it's over. Well, Nick Sirianni just won his division for the second year in a row.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and this is the point where I get where I keep the same energy with everything. You want to criticize Nick Sirianni for 2023? I am perfectly okay with that. They were not good. The offense wasn't great then. The defense stunk. This year, yes, I will say the defense not being like it was in 23 has definitely helped. The defense is playing. This is the best stretch of defense we've seen in Philadelphia since Jim Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
But I need to keep the same energy here. Nick got scrutinized for 2023, and he was getting scrutinized again this year for it.
Yep.
Well, Nick Sirianni has lost offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator and continues to be in the postseason consistently. He just lost Kellen Moore, and he's about to go back to the postseason and won his division. Meanwhile, there's a guy down in Detroit who loses Ben Johnson and is about to miss the playoffs.
And Aaron Glenn.
See, the Lions, though, the Lions losing the coordinators is one thing, but over the last 2 years, the Lions have had 77 injuries. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. If you have 77 injuries on your roster in 2 years, you're gonna have a year where you're not going anywhere. They cannot keep losing players at the rate they lose them and expect to be competitive long term. This year again, they've had 9 starters out on defense again this season. That's why they are where they are.
Yes, but here's the thing. last year, that defense was depleted way before the postseason, but the offense was so dynamic and dominant, it got through the rest of the season and got them to where they were. And what you're saying makes sense, but here's the thing. This is why none of us are on national television, because on national television, that's not the case with these guys. It'll be, oh, Dan Campbell is light years the coach that Nick Sirianni is. Is he?
I mean, in his defense, Dan Campbell's taken over the play calling, and since he's taken over the play calling, the Lions have had the best offense in the NFL. So again, the offense is not the problem. It's that defense that just can't stop anybody. The Lions are averaging more yards per game this year than they did last year, and they're averaging more points per game than they did last year. It's not the offense that's the reason why. It's the injuries on defense. They literally have gone through so many bodies on defense that they can't do it anymore. They are so depleted back there that they are forced to score 35 points to win games. They just can't compete at this point. And that's why I can't say losing the coordinators is an excuse this year. It is the injuries, because when the offense is playing better this year than what it did last year with a brand new offensive coordinator and a new play caller, you have 9 missing starters on defense that's catching up to him at the worst time.
Okay. But now let's go look at this one. Bears went into Philadelphia on Black Friday, ran all over them, dominated us on the ground. Ben Johnson's their play caller. The Lions did what against Philadelphia 2-3 weeks prior?
That was the game that Dan Campbell took over play calling.
No, it wasn't. He took over the weeks prior to that. He took over in Washington.
I don't think so.
That was the last. No, that was the game after the Eagles game was when Dan Campbell took over. That's why he took over.
Was that in Washington?
Yep. Mm-hmm. No, it was after the Eagles game. The Eagles game was the last game that the Eagles game was the last game that the OC called plays. It was after the Eagles game that Dan Campbell took over the play calling.
I know it was in Washington.
Yeah. Because whenever they played the Eagles, that was the last game that because Dan Campbell took over play calling after that time.
Nope, they played Washington the week before the Eagles. He was calling plays against the Eagles. Yes, he was. But I remember it was the story the entire week about how he took over a Washington game. They hung 44 on the Commanders. But again, this is just the point. This is just the point that I'm trying to make. Dan Campbell, I'm sorry, why does Dan Campbell get to say, like, oh, I've lost this, I've lost that? The offense is still pretty damn healthy. And not to be disrespectful, guys, even when the defense has been on the field healthy in Detroit, it's still never really been that great. It's got like 2 really good players when healthy. Aiden Hutchinson and Brian Branch.
Before Aiden Hutchinson went down last year, though, they were a top 10 defense.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Last year, I'm talking about last year they were playing amazing. Then Aiden got hurt.
Yeah,
that last year is a different story. I understand that, but once again, you had Ben Johnson and that offense dominating last year. It didn't matter what happened with the defense. Yes, they still managed to make plays for the rest of the season to get by. You know, they traded for Zadarius Smith. He did what he had to do for them, which, by the way, I find it really funny that Zadarius Smith is tweeting about the after Eagles games now after he retired mid-season. But this is the point I'm trying to make here. Everything that is being said here is just proving the point I'm trying to make. We don't get that leeway from everybody. If we had 11 injuries on one side of the football, it's no excuse. By the way, I hate to break the news to everybody. We've been missing our 2 best linemen on both sides of the ball for over a month now. I'm down the best I'm down probably the best right tackle of this century. Now you go find me one better, because there ain't none. And I'm down a trend. I'm basically down the best, one of the top 3 interior defensive linemen in the league. Not to mention I've developed another one who's turned into a freaking monster. Because I'll tell you something. I want to get a little bit into that Commanders and Eagles game. I remember hearing the word bust with Jordan Davis heading into this year. Which, once again, I was getting sick and tired of having to tell people what the role Jordan Davis has played on this team for the past 3 years? Because if you don't watch them close enough, then you're not going to understand it. What Jordan Davis has been able to do here over the past year, coming into the shape that he's in, dominating. I mean, he was dominant on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's Jalen Carter-esque right there. And real quickly, before I get too much into like some other things I have on this game, all the people that talk about this one as well, offensive play calling this, and Kevin Patullo that, Nick Sirianni this. I'm gonna make no, Anthony. When the Eagles went to Minnesota, the Vikings had what they said the best pass defense in the league.
Vikings run defense is terrible, but heading into that game against Philly, Minnesota did have the best pass defense.
Yep.
And Jalen Hurts had a perfect passer rating in that game.
Before we move off of Jalen Hurts, the Nick Sirianni thing, it's
they're
impressive.
Oh
yeah, I know, but it's impressive to see how Jalen's had to adapt with not yet again another offensive coordinator, and also from what he's been comfortable in a system that's run dominant and not always asked to have to make plays through the air throughout the course of a game. This year, run game's been very bad. We've only probably had maybe like 3 or 4 actually good games as a team running the football. And that's why his passing numbers are up, because he's been asked to do so much more.
Yes, and again, it hasn't been close. It hasn't been 2023. Jalen Hurts has played one bad game this year. Well, let me rephrase that. He's been one atrocious game. That was the Chargers game. The Bears game, he wasn't great either, but
the Packers Packers game, it wasn't good either. There was nobody that played well in that Packers game.
Well, I'm about to say, yeah.
There was nobody on both teams that played well.
There was nobody that played well in the Packers game.
Again, that's the point I'm trying to make here. Jalen wasn't great in the Green Bay game. Well, neither was Jordan Love on the other side. Jalen wasn't terrific against Detroit. Well, Jared Goff stunk too. That's the point I'm trying to make there. It's never the same on both sides. It's one guy was bad, the other one was, he had to go against this. No, that's not how it works here. It's two sides to this. But no, he's had the entire, well, like you said, nobody was good in those games. The offensive coaching on both sides wasn't good, but I'm getting to a point now with this offense. What you just said it again, Tyler, another new offensive coordinator. I'm getting to a point now where there is a chance, and you guys can boot me off my own show, I don't care. There's a good chance Kevin Patullo is going to be the offensive coordinator again next year.
He probably will be. He's not going to get a head coaching job somewhere.
But that's not just the point. The point is there a defective upgrade that Eagle fans want so badly? I don't see a Kellen Moore coming out of the woodwork here.
I see one they should have hired, and somebody that shouldn't have been fired.
Who was that?
Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick, when he was in Houston, worked wonders for that offense. And he got the short straw last year because C.J. Stroud got concussed last year. Houston's offensive line was terrible. Bobby Slowick got the short straw last year in Houston. But he had that offense humming in Houston during C.J. Stroud's rookie year.
Bobby Slowick was a freaking victim of the Texans' terrible offensive line.
That's what I'm saying. You put Bobby Slowick in Philly.
All right.
That makes that offense dynamic.
It could. Sausage. But I'm just saying, if they don't view anybody as like a strategic uptick in improvement, they're going to do that. They're going because again, people are going to say, "Oh, well, it's because of this, it's because of that again." But let's look at this again. Jalen Hurts has eclipsed the new career high in passing touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Dallas Goedert has had the best year of his career. As down of a year that Saquon Barkley has had, he is still top 10 in the NFL in rushing. And they are on the verge. If they look, the weather report coming in to Buffalo Sunday does not look great. It looks like it's going to be a cold, windy day.
Yep.
Depending on how much they play over the next 2 weeks. What you say, George?
Poor BB. It's Buffalo. Deal with it. Live with it.
No,
it's football.
Well, no, I'm just saying. No, that's what I'm saying. I know, but I'm saying I'm expecting this to be a big Saquon Barkley, James Cook kind of day. Depending on how much passing is done next week, and if they even play against the Commanders, they could still be on the verge of having 2,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
So, for all the people that want to fire Kevin Patullo, unless you're going and finding someone that's another version of Kellen Moore, you're probably going to have Kevin Patullo as your OC again next year.
I try not to think about that.
Well, I mean,
because it's like it's a double-edged sword, right?
I'll trade with Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh, come on.
Stefanski as an OC is not bad.
Kevin Stefanski's going to take a year off. He's gone through hell and back with Cleveland the last couple of years. He's going to want to take a year off of football.
Yeah.
He's going to get his year off.
If you wanted to be an OC, someone would hire him on the spot if he said he wanted to be an OC. I think
they would.
I think he's just going to take a year off because I think he's just mentally drained after the shit he's had to go through in Cleveland the last couple of years.
Again, don't disagree with that whatsoever. But again, that's my point is like, has it been, like, don't get me wrong, they've had spurts where they've been really, really bad. Yes. They've also had spurts where they've been really good.
So I feel like, and I don't want to get hung up too much into how good Kevin Patullo may be, because I feel like the offense has looked better since Sirianni, quote unquote, started working more with Patullo on the offensive game planning.
Well, I got an interesting stat for you after you finish after you're done saying what you got to say.
That's all I had to say about that.
Okay, well, listen to this real quick. This is Jalen Hurts this year when the Eagles run an empty formation, which they did a lot of on Saturday against Washington. They carved up that Commanders secondary with empty sets all day. On the year, this is for the entire year, Jalen Hurts is 51 of 70 for 610 yards and a 107.7 passer rating. Over the last 2 games that they've done it, he's 7 for 8 for 152 yards and 158.3 of a passer rating. So, I mean, for the people that say he doesn't make adjustments, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, Kevin Patullo saw that the Commander's secondary is reeling and took full-on advantage of it early. So, like, can we just take into consideration that maybe Kevin Patullo is he's kind of still, I mean, I know we forget this. The guy's learning on the job. Like,
yes,
once again, the guys
true.
are...
So the good thing for Patullo is he has the sample size of the rest of the season plus postseason to show us what he really is made of. I'd be willing to chalk up the struggles through over the halfway point of the season up to him learning on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can see continued success, which really starts with this Bills game. This Bills game is the last game that matters for the Eagles leading into the playoffs. And this is a tune-up game for what you're going to expect against other NFC opponents.
Yes.
You guys have to quit playing like the Ravens. Stop playing like the Ravens, and you'll be fine.
Oh, I wouldn't compare them to the Ravens.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see a running game that looks pretty damn similar.
They stole that running game from the Eagles. The Eagles are just playing the football that they always have.
The Eagles quarterback, unlike the Ravens, my quarterback performs in January.
And
I
can throw the ball
I
50 plus
thought
yards
you were
downfield.
I thought you were going elsewhere, Sam. I'm glad.
No, my guy doesn't wet his pants when he sees Mahomes on the opposite sideline.
Whoa.
No, that's not where I thought you were going either. But
Well, I
it's
like
okay.
the comment on the bottom that Anthony has there too. Would it have been different if Marcus was still in the game? It would have been different
No.
if Jake Elliott could make a field goal.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like people are going to say, "Oh, the Eagles had another bad first half of football." They had a now. Okay, the one thing I will say is I hate the hesitant complacentness in the first half, aggressive, but then we're going for two when we're up by like 17. I don't understand that whatsoever. By the way, Dan Quinn, congratulations, fake tough guy. See you week 18 and you're beating on my back. All right, I applaud you, fake tough guy. You and that by the way, that overrated corner, Mikey Sanders, still, who I was told last year on Twitter was better than Cooper DeJean.
Yeah,
Fake tough guy.
Sanders a bum. He could be a decent number 2, but he's not. He's not a
slot corner. He's a slot corner. Get out of here. But no, look, applaud the fake tough guy stuff. You went for 2. Whoop-de-doo. But no, but I want to go back to what Dustin said. The Eagles' offense in the first half moved the football. They were actually being productive. If somebody could have made his kicks, it would have looked a little different.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't score a touchdown every drive. Give me a chance every drive to put up points. And honestly, they did. And it's like another thing, like with Dan Quinn, he's talking about going for 2. Dan Quinn had the football on we literally fumbled the kickoff to them. He kicks a field goal with the ball on the 4-yard line. Your season's over, dude.
Mm-hmm.
What are you kicking field goals for with the ball on the 4-yard line? But last year in the NFC title game, we were king go for it every play.
Right.
I will say, well, hold on. I will say this to Anthony's point. I will say Mariota would have made a little difference because, let's be real, Josh Johnson is not an NFL freaking quarterback at this point in his life. So, let's be real about that.
Not enough to make the game close, though.
No, you saw the first throw he made. DeJean picked him off with no problem.
Yeah.
But just real quickly, I have I think it's only one other thing I had to point out real quick. Oh, yeah, so here's a fun little stat for you. Nick Sirianni has now passed Hall of Fame head coach Paul Brown for the second most wins in the regular season in a coach's first 5 years in the NFL. The only coach in NFL history with more wins in their first 5 years, George Seifert.
Georgie.
Wow.
So, I mean, are we still fired?
That's because George Seifert inherited Bill Walsh's. That's why.
All right, yeah, but still, that's just the point being made that Seifert's the only guy that has won more games in his first 5 years than Nick Sirianni. So for all the people, all the people that say he was the worst head coaching hire, he's not better than this guy, that. First of all, not only is I made my point about Dan Campbell earlier, and look, I don't want to make this sound like this is Mr. Sirianni's the best head coach of football, but all these other guys get all this national attention. Dan Campbell hasn't won crap yet in Detroit. Nick Sirianni's won in Philadelphia. Not to mention, Nick Sirianni is undefeated against guys like McVay, LaFleur, hello. He's gone toe-to-toe with Andy Reid at the biggest stage twice. Beat him and blew the doors off him yet last year. Can we start putting this together now? The guy's one of the winningest head coaches in football since he came to Philadelphia. I mean, my goodness. What's up, Paulie?
What's up, Paul? I know you're happy with them Patriots.
No, he's happy. He's happy he's got Mike Vrabel in the building. That's what he's happy about. And again, it's just the definition of coaching matters. The Patriots last year were terrible. Add Mike Vrabel. The Bears last year were terrible. Add Ben Johnson. The Jags last year were terrible. Add Liam Cohen. coaching, this is the biggest definition of the year that coaching matters.
It does.
Like, it matters so much. Like, before, but that's what cracks me up. When these other guys win, oh, they're great coaches. When Nick gets, oh, he's got a stacked roster. Okay. You need good players to win in the NFL last time I checked.
Yeah. How about McDermott?
I don't know, McDermott.
You know, where's all of his trash being thrown at him?
Listen.
Missing conference championship games, losing conference championships, not making it to the Super Bowl.
Listen. I don't think any of us here will disagree. If he doesn't get it done, when he doesn't have to go near Mahomes, Burrow, and Lamar Jackson, which is I'm pretty sure that's basically said and done at this point, it's over for McDermott in Buffalo. It's over for him.
I don't think so. Mike Tomlin hasn't done squat. He went to the Super Bowl with Cowher's guys. He hasn't done squat, and he's still there. I don't think Buffalo will change anything until they get into the new house. And if things don't change after 2 years of being in the new house, then they may pull a Schottenheimer move.
Yeah, I don't think so. Unless if they miss the playoffs, that's the only way they would can him.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not going to miss the playoffs.
When it comes to Tomlin, he's had 19 straight winning seasons.
And for Tomlin, I get it. Yeah, I get people's criticism with Tomlin, but you got to also look at it is kind of impressive.
He's the model of
who is the dude had at quarterback since Big Ben retired?
Nobody.
And he's still taking them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they're not making far runs. They're not winning Super Bowls.
This year, and the way the Steelers look right now, they have a shot that could make a little bit.
They're kind of scary.
Well, right now, and the way that I look at the AFC playoff picture right now,
they're a team that
as good as the Broncos are, as good as the Patriots are, as good as some of these teams are. Ultimately, what comes down to winning in the playoffs is playoff experience. Aaron Rodgers has the playoff experience. Josh Allen has the playoff experience. That could be your AFC championship game right there. Because I would pick, if I had to choose between Drake May and Bo Nix in a playoff game or Aaron Rodgers, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. If I have to choose Trevor Lawrence or Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. Like, he has the experience to get it done. And the thing when it comes to Josh Allen, we've seen everything that he can do in the playoffs. It's just that he's never been able to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Chiefs aren't there this year. I do think Buffalo ends up making it to the Super Bowl because of that, but I'm not going to be shocked if it's Buffalo and Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship game because of the experience factor behind it.
And look, I agree, but like again, if they don't get it done this year, when they don't have to go through those big three,
McDermott will be gone. I think McDermott will be gone if they don't get to the Super Bowl this year.
Because yes, we can bring up Tomlin. Well, Mike Tomlin has something that McDermott doesn't. Yeah. That's Super Bowl ring.
He's been to two Super Bowls as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, Marty Schottenheimer did it for 12 years in a row. Made it to 2 AFC championship games and still got the axe.
Yeah, that's the key.
It doesn't matter.
He never got to the Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin has gotten to the Super Bowl.
Yes, like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, but like I said, he got there with Cowher's guys. That's the only reason why he got there.
He still got there and won it.
Yeah.
Get there on your own accord, not on somebody else's. Just like George Seifert.
How many teams do that now though? You look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Oakland Raiders in 2002. John Gruden got to the Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's guys in Tampa and won it. And the Raiders got to the Super Bowl with John Gruden's guys and a different coach coaching them there. That happens on a team for the most part. When you inherit a team, if you get to a Super Bowl, 9 out of 10 times it's not with your guys. It's just with the new scheme that you put in place, the new coaches that you bring with it.
Like an example could be the Patriots this year, possibly.
The example can be the Eagles. A lot of the first Super Bowl that Sirianni got to, a lot of that was still Doug Peterson's guys.
I mean, Lane, Kelsey,
Yeah.
Like those are all
Mailata.
Doug Peterson's guys.
Jalen.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick,
Dallas
the first
Goedert.
Bill Belichick,
Yep.
the first Super Bowl that he won in New England, those were all Bill Parcells and Pete Carroll guys. Those were not
No, they were not. I was hoping you'd bring that shit up. No, it
All right, Tyler,
wasn't.
sit back.
No, it wasn't.
The free agents, no.
No, it was not, sir. Go back and look it up. No, it was not. Billy Boy did it all on his own. He was responsible for it.
So Bill,
Go ahead. We'll wait. I'll wait for the 45 minutes. I'll let you do your research.
Hold on. You're telling me that Bill Belichick was responsible for an entire 53-man roster, and not one of them had to do with Bill Parcells?
I don't know
53 guys.
I don't even know the history of that.
2001 Super Bowl that the New England Patriots won had 14 players from Bill Parcells' regime and 6 players from Pete Carroll's regime. That is half the roster. That is not a Bill Belichick roster. That is half of a Bill Parcells built roster and then partial Pete Carroll. Yes, Bill Belichick may have had more imprint than some of these other coaches, but still, 23 out of a 53-man roster is almost half your roster. That is not.
No, it was not by, and it wasn't even close by Pete Carroll, by the way. I don't know why you keep bringing up Pete Carroll.
I literally just looked it up.
Where the fuck are you bringing that up from?
On the roster. It literally says 20 players or 23 players were between Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick or Pete Carroll and Bill Parcells were on that Bill Belichick roster.
All right, you just show me the AI info.
It's not AI. I have sources that I looked at.
Like I said, show me your AI info.
But again, it's still the point. It happens everywhere across the NFL.
Yeah.
Every team inherits something. You don't.
These are the main names that Bill Belichick inherited that were not his players. Teddy Bruschi, Ty Law, Willie McGinnis, Troy Malloy, Troy Brown, Drew Bledsoe, Kevin Falk, Damian Woody. Those are very key pieces to a Super Bowl team right there on both sides of the ball.
That was eight. That was probably 8 of the best players on that roster.
Yeah. So yes, Bill Belichick may not have had as many pieces as some of these other coaches inherit, but he had a lot more players that may have made an impact.
And once again, I'm going to say this for the freaking 13,000th time. I understand that Bill Belichick likes to get all this credit. Bill Belichick still, to me, is not somebody I want to talk about as a great personnel guy. Can we talk about anything happened since about 2015? Because after 2015, their scouting wasn't that great.
Yeah.
If they didn't keep Brady around and Gronk around as long as they did, we would not be having these conversations.
Well, and the other thing is the key behind Parcells and the key behind Schottenheimer was Bill Belichick, which is why I'm telling you, it was Bill Belichick who built them both.
Yes, but
don't fuck with the old man. Do not fuck with the old man.
Yes, but the 8 players that Dustin just named, they were brought in before Belichick was the head coach. Those are important players.
Players on both sides of the ball that literally were part of the reason why the Patriots went to the Super Bowl in Bill Belichick's first year. Literally.
No one's saying Belichick didn't build them up bigger than what they had, but
it was his scheming, though. It wasn't Bill's scheming.
This is exactly what I just said before. Every coach, for the most part, that goes to a Super Bowl inherits a large chunk of that roster from the previous coach. And the reason why they get to the Super Bowl is because of the scheme and the assistant coaches they bring with them.
But Bill was already there. That's why I'm telling you.
But it still wasn't his roster that he completely inherited. He changed the scheme. Exactly what I just said.
He didn't have to change almost anything because it was still Belichick's scheme. It was never Parcells' scheme. He'll even tell you that. He's noted that in interviews.
Were there any fundamentals involved in that?
Oh, Sam. Oh, you motherfucker. You motherfucker.
Look who's commenting in. That's why I put it there.
Oh man.
The only team that I can honestly say that went to the Super Bowl that did not have an inherited roster was the Los Angeles Rams. Because Sean McVay blew that entire team up after they lost their Super Bowl and basically rebuilt a roster from scratch in 2 years. That was his roster he put together. It was not an inherited roster that got from anybody else. He traded for Stafford. He made the draft picks he had to move, traded for the pieces, got the free agents he needed to get. And anybody left on that roster were players that he drafted when they went to their first Super Bowl and lost. But that is the only off the top of my head that a coach.
What about Aaron Donald?
Aaron second Super Bowl would have been the only one player though. He's one player. He's not like an entire group of a roster. Like Sean McVay blew up that run. He lost that Super Bowl.
Aaron Donald may be worth about 3 players.
He might be, but I'm just saying in general, that is the one team that I can think of off the top of my head where when it comes to Super Bowl, that was a team that went to Super Bowl with a non-inherited roster. He blew up the team and rebuilt it the way he wanted it to be built. Now, if he leaves and somebody else goes to the Super Bowl, then yes, that's his inherited roster.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're absolutely right. Look, I can't ever think, no one's going to take the 2016 Cleveland Browns and turn them into a 12-win team overnight. But, every coach that gets hired inherits something.
Yeah. And a large portion of the time, they inherit players that have multiple years on their contract. So it's not like you're getting rid of everybody overnight. If you have a large chunk of your roster with 3-4 years remaining on their contract and you get a team to a Super Bowl in year 3 as a head coach, guess what? That is a roster you still inherited because all those players were under contract for multiple years.
All right, Dustin, let me ask you this one. And I think this is one that Tyler and I could also help out with as well. What about somebody like Andy Reid?
In
Kansas City or
in Kansas City?
Let's go back to Philly and Kansas City.
He did inherit some of Ray Rhodes' roster.
True.
Especially on defense. Offensively, he did not have a lot of Ray Rhodes' roster left, but defensively, he had a lot of Ray Rhodes pieces left.
Or did he want any of Ray Rhodes' roster?
But I'm just saying he did inherit a lot of Ray Rhodes' roster on defense.
Yeah, and then Jim Johnson came over, but some of the guys that were there that they had, Andy they did a lot of their own. Andy, what year was Andy here? Andy wasn't here yet when Dawkins was drafted, was he?
Yes, I think that was Andy's second.
Yeah, he was. What year was Dawkins?
03, wasn't it?
No, Dawkins was drafted. Dawkins was drafted in the 90s. I thought
he was 03 because Andy Reid took over in 02.
Andy took over before that.
What did
he? Andy was in the NFC title game with the Eagles in 01. Let me see. Because I'm curious.
96, so yeah, that would have been not him. That would have been Ray Rhodes.
Dawkins was drafted in 96.
Yeah, so that would have been a Ray Rhodes piece.
Yeah, because Andy wasn't there in 96 yet. But even if it wasn't Dawkins, Andy was there when they drafted Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown, Michael Lewis. They drafted a lot of his guys there too. I mean, offensively, yes. He drafted McNabb. He drafted Westbrook. Hell, he even drafted Jackson, Macklin, and McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's another one. Chip Kelly inherited Andy Reid's playmakers and then proceeded to get rid of all of them.
Yeah, he traded them all away.
And as much flack that Dick Vermeil gets, Andy Reid inherited Dick Vermeil's roster in Kansas City. He just made a lot of changes right away, which is why he didn't have success instantly. But by year 2, he gets into the AFC playoffs.
I agree, Dustin. I'm not laughing at you.
No, I read the comment.
This is a Dueling Aces inside joke between George and Bruiser. So the more you say fundamental, the more we're probably going to have George leave us because he's going to want to kill one of us. And by the way, Tyler, you're actually wrong. I wish the Eagles would have traded Deshaun Jackson because maybe they would have got something back for him. No, they decided to cut it.
Chip Kelly thought they were too fundamentally sound of a team.
Okay, listen. All right. Let's try to jump back. Let's try to get back on track here.
I lost track where we were.
We've talked the Eagles enough at the beginning of the show. Let's jump into the rest of the NFL this week. That we got some big ones here. Let's talk about Bears-Packers on Saturday night. Perfect time to have Dustin on with us for this. Who wants to kick off this one to talk about this game? Did the Bears show us something on Saturday?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The Bears have shown that they are never out of a football game because they now have 6 wins on basically final possessions. They have 7 wins by 5 points or less, I believe. So, like, they're showing that they can win in basically any style game. High scoring, defense, like a pick six, walk-off field goal, walk-off touchdowns, all that. Like, they're showing they can do that. But this is a carbon copy of what the Minnesota Vikings did in 2023 when the Vikings went 13-4 that year, and 11 of their 13 wins were by 6 points or less, and then they were 1-and-done in the playoffs. So, yes, this is good that they're learning how to win close games because it's something they haven't been able to do in, like, the last 6-7 years. But is that going to help them come to playoffs? Because at some point you need to get away from these close games. At some point your cardiac approach is going to go away.
Now, how does this also help the Bears in terms of Jordan Love was gone after, was it the second quarter he exited the game?
Second quarter, yeah.
Second quarter. So they played a whole half of football. While Malik Willis played pretty decently, it's still not Jordan Love.
I mean, look at the first game, though. This is exact carbon copy of the first game in Green Bay. Bears sucked for 3 quarters in Green Bay.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it gets to the fourth quarter, and Caleb Williams turns into an MVP in the fourth quarter and almost wins that game. If it wasn't for an underthrown ball in the end zone, that game might be going to overtime, or the Bears are probably going for 2. Same situation here. The Bears played like crap for 3 quarters, but then you get to the fourth quarter, and guess who the highest-rated quarterback in the NFL in the fourth quarter is this year? Caleb Williams. The guy shows up when it matters, regardless how he plays for 3 quarters. He shows up when the game's on the line more often than not this year. And that throw into that wind in overtime, you could not have set that ball in his hands any more perfect than what he threw. The Bears have been waiting for a Caleb Williams moment. That was the Caleb Williams moment right there.
Yep, I agree. That was it.
And the other thing with the Bears, too, that nobody talks about, since we've gone to this new rule with the onside kicks, and you have to declare the onside kick before you kick it now. There has been a total of 6 onside kicks recovered the last 2 years since we've gone to this rule. The Bears have 5 of them.
Bruiser said, before I get back to Christmas shopping, I'll leave you with this. The Browns are a fundamentally flawed organization, and Die Hard isn't a Christmas.
Sorry, yeah, Bruiser's just butthurt because I actually found that the writers actually said, yes, it is a Christmas movie, and I posted it in the chat. He's just butthurt today.
It's a Christmas
No. Well, then you better call it a double because guess what? I'm still agreeing with him. No, it's not. The guy who wrote the movie telling me that doesn't mean crap. But we'll get to that another day. I ain't got time for it.
What?
I posted the whole damn interview. What the hell more do you idiots want?
The guy who wrote the script, it doesn't matter what he says.
Yeah, bunch of morons.
Yeah. Again, we'll save this for Dueling Aces, okay? I'm not doing this. We're not doing the Die Hard stuff.
Hey, you brought it up.
The last thing I want to say about the Bears game is more so on the Packers side of things. Jordan Love has a grade 3 concussion. That is not a simple 1 week and you're ready to go concussion. That can be a multiple week concussion. If that is a multiple week concussion, there is a chance the Packers could lose out and miss the playoffs. The other thing that the Packer fans are starting to realize, Malik Willis looks better in this offense than Jordan Love does. He really does. When Malik Willis is in there, he adds another dimension to that offense that teams don't expect. Because Jordan Love doesn't run. Malik Willis can run. So now you have to account for Malik Willis running the ball, which opens more things up for Josh Jacobs, which means you cannot be putting as many guys in the box for Josh Jacobs, which opens things up for some of your receivers like Christian Watson and your speed burners for Malik Willis. Jordan Love is good, but he's also very inconsistent. The offense just plays better with Malik Willis, and they've shown that the last 2 years. With Malik Willis in there, they average 5 more points a game than with Jordan Love.
So you're saying there's a quarterback controversy in Green Bay?
There's not a quarterback controversy per se, but you know someone's going to try to pay Malik Willis next year because he is a free agent after this year. Someone's going to pay him to at least audition for a starting spot somewhere.
The Cleveland Browns.
No, they got enough issues because Watson will be clear.
Oh yeah, Watson will be back. The savior.
Yeah, we've already got that little.
The team
we'll go through.
The team that I would not be surprised to give him a 1-year flyer deal is Kansas City. You put him with Andy Reid. He is basically a smaller version of Donovan McNabb when Donovan McNabb first came to Philly.
And yeah, you don't rush Mahomes back. You let him get healthy. Yeah, honestly, I could say it.
The Chiefs are going to probably be picking in the top 10 this year. So you're going to get a top 10 pick. Kelsey's probably retiring. So you open up an additional $18 million in cap space. The Chiefs have the third or fourth fewest dead money in the NFL in terms of if they cut contracts. They have the third or fourth fewest amount of dead money to get rid of. The Chiefs basically have a chance where they can just take a year off and retool that roster for when Mahomes is healthy. Bring in Malik Willis on a 1-year prove-it deal and try to design something similar to what you had when you had Donovan McNabb in Philly.
And you know what? If he actually does pretty decent and he gets a contract, they can get a comp pick. They would get a comp pick for that, wouldn't they?
Yep.
If he gets signed?
Yep. It'll be the exact same situation with Darnold in Minnesota this year. They gave him the 1-year deal, proved his worth in Minnesota, signed the 3-year deal with Seattle. Now Minnesota gets the comp pick for it.
Hey, and then Kansas City wouldn't have to worry about their O-line because he could just run out of the pressure.
And that's
is that kind of like a Patrick Mahomes injured this year?
Yeah, but Mahomes is a less athletic runner. Yeah. He runs the ball. I'm not gonna say he doesn't. He's always scrambling, but
he doesn't run like a 4.5 140 like Malik Willis does. The thing with Malik Willis though too, and like it's with the Packers in this case, do the Packers have a $60 million problem with Jordan Love? Because I still say to this day they paid him too soon. They paid him off of 8 good games.
I mean, if you're looking at his numbers this year, he's third in the league in QBR. He's got 6 interceptions, 23 passing touchdowns, almost 3,400 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's been playing good.
He's been playing good. Look at what he does against good teams. Like Denver and like some of these other good teams, which is why you pay quarterbacks elite money. You pay him elite money to beat good teams. And that is something Jordan Love has not been able to do consistently since he came into this league, is beat good teams.
I mean, he does have a solid point. I mean, again,
you look at the playoffs. He shit the bed against San Francisco. And then you look at the
last year.
Shit the bed against Philly last year. Another good team. How many losses did the Packers have last year? Does anybody know?
5 or 6, or is that too many?
I think it was 6. It was 6 losses. Who were their 6 losses against last year?
Your guess is as good as mine.
2 to the Eagles, 2 to the Vikings, 2 to the Lions. The 6 good teams the Packers played on their schedule, he went 0-6 last year. This year, the Packers have 5 losses. They lost to the Bears. They lost to the Eagles. They lost to the Browns and Panthers, which are unexcusable. They tied the Cowboys, and they lost to the Broncos. 3 losses against good teams again.
So they split the Bears.
Yeah, they split the
And
Bears.
he played half the game, so I'm not gonna.
But he still played the whole first game against Chicago too, and they only won because of that interception right at the end. Jordan Love did not play good in the second half of that game either.
Yeah, it was more.
So he's got basically he is 1-10 the last 2 seasons against playoff teams, and you're trying to tell me that is a $60 million quarterback?
Not 60.
That's my point.
Maybe.
They have a $60 million problem because you're paying a guy $60 million to go 1-10 against playoff teams the last 2 years.
Fair enough. But real quickly, before we get off of this, the Bears and Packers too much, Tyler, didn't you say something about Caleb Williams a few weeks ago?
Nah, no one brought it up, Sam. Nothing was said. Next topic.
No.
Well, what'd you say? Come on, let's hear it.
Oh. So I'm surprised you didn't bring it up, Dustin. But a couple weeks ago, when the Packers beat the Bears, and Caleb Williams threw the underthrown game-winning touchdown that got picked off, I said Caleb Williams, I don't think is at the point where he's good enough, when asked to make a big play to win a game, to do it.
Okay.
Yesterday's game, he proved me wrong.
Saturday's game, but yeah.
Saturday, yes, he proved me wrong.
And these Saturday games.
I was honestly proved wrong in the first game against the Packers. Even though the Bears lost that game, why were the Bears in that game in the second half? Because Caleb Williams was making the plays he needed to make bring the Bears back in that game. He was making the throws he needed to make to bring the Bears back in this game. And even now, looking back on it, it was the right play call against the Packers at Lambeau Field. It was just that he underthrew the receiver by about 1 yard.
The play you're talking about, they literally ran in Philly and they executed it.
Yeah, it was the exact same play, the exact same route, the exact same everything. He just put too much air under the ball and underthrew it by a yard. He takes a little bit of air off of that. That's clear over the head of Keyshawn Nixon in the back of the end zone, and the Bears are winning that game too, or at least going overtime.
Yeah, because I even said it in that game. Caleb made throws that I said, not saying he couldn't make, but I haven't seen yet. And there were throws in that game.
And for anybody right now that wants to doubt Caleb Williams, like, you can say it all you want, keep in mind he was down as 2 of his best receivers yesterday, or on Saturday. No Roma Dunze, no Luther Burden. So everybody in the building pretty much knew when he needed a throw, it was going to DJ Moore. And he made the 2 best throws of the season on back-to-back possessions to DJ Moore.
How dare you disrespect the future Hall of Famer that is Olamide Zaccheaus?
Olamide Zaccheaus had 2 catches and then dropped a potential touchdown in the first half.
Oh, trust me. Trust me. We had to deal with him in 2023 in Philly. That's not a very fundamentally sound player there.
But setting up the game tying touchdown to an undrafted rookie, Jade Walker, which was his second career catch, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
He had a 25-yard strike to DJ Moore to put the ball at the 10-yard line that he threw over the top of the linebacker, in front of the safety, and in between 2 corners. That was probably his best throw up until the overtime throw to DJ Moore.
All right, let's move on to let's backtrack real quick because I wanted to keep like the Saturday games together. Why don't we go back to last Thursday real quick, gentlemen? Seahawks Rams.
Oh, brother.
2 best teams in the NFL, and I'm going to stand by that.
They were playing. They may be the 2 best teams in the NFL.
I do agree with that statement. Those are the 2 teams that scare me as an Eagles fan.
They don't have a hole, really. And the only reason why I say they don't have a hole, really, the Rams put up 38 points without Devontae Adams. Matthew Stafford threw for 472 yards without Devontae Adams.
Puka Nacua is just that good that it makes Devontae Adams not playing seem like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams just makes his life easier week to week.
No, he does, but that just shows you
Yeah.
how scary the Rams are.
They are.
And they're the one team of all the playoff teams. They are the one team that's not afraid of Philly. Because the last 2 years, the NFC divisional game last year, and then their game in Philadelphia this year, they had Philadelphia beat for 3 quarters in each game. They are not afraid of Philly.
But the worrisome part is, what are the key things that happened when the Eagles played them earlier this year and what Seattle did to them? They came back and beat them. They exposed their defense.
Not necessarily. The Eagles beat them on special teams. And the special teams let Rashid Shaheed return a punt for a touchdown. And what happened the next morning? Bye-bye, special teams coach. Sean McVay fired him because they've lost 2 games on special teams this year that they probably should have won.
Yes, but once again, I'm not going to chalk this up to saying that the special teams lost in the game against Philly. Again, yes, they blocked the field goal to win the game. Chris Shula's defense allowed the Eagles to score 21 unanswered points.
Mm-hmm. They went soft, and I think he learned his lesson in that game.
But I will say that is still the one little bit of a weakness that the Rams do have. Their secondary is not great. It is not, in my opinion, it's not. It gets, again, it's almost like it's every team's secondary is better with their front seven, of course. That is how their secondary. It's again, it's not terrible. I've seen way worse secondaries in my life.
Cowboys?
The 2023 Eagles are way behind me. I don't want to hear it.
The Cowboys secondary.
No, they're a whole nother story.
They let J.J. McCarthy throw for 270 yards against them. That shows you how bad their secondary is.
Yeah, now that secondary may be losing to Ron Bland for a while. He's possibly due to have another foot surgery.
True.
But I'm just saying, like, if there is a way to attack the Rams, if at all,
it's vertical.
You can throw the football on them a little bit.
You know,
I'm not saying. But again, it's not. But again, it's not going to matter if that front's hit, because that front is lethal. Turner, Verse, freaking Byron Young, like Josiah Stewart. These guys just get after you. Braden Fisk, they just get after you. Look, if the Eagles and the Rams played in the playoffs tomorrow, I would even pick probably the Rams.
You want to know what I found out this year, which was absolutely mind-blowing when you look at the kind of season Matthew Stafford is having this year? He's in year, 15, year 16 now?
Something to that regard.
He has never finished in the top 5 of an MVP voting once.
That's unbelievable.
For a future Hall of Fame quarterback, he has never finished in the top 5 in MVP voting. Until this year, because he's probably going to win it this year.
I mean, all the years that were wasted away in Detroit, he wasn't getting no MVP nods for that.
Yeah, but he was still putting up 40 touchdowns.
I know he was.
And he got no love there. And then the year that he took the Rams to the Super Bowl and won it, he had 46 touchdowns, a career-high 46 touchdowns, and didn't even finish in the top 5 in MVP voting that year.
Yeah, because the league probably ended up giving it to Patrick Mahomes. I don't know who it was offhand. That seems like a solid guess, though.
I think it was Mahomes. Mahomes had the 51 touchdowns or whatever it was, or the 52. Yeah, but this year he's got 34 touchdowns and 4 interceptions this year. Like, he's probably winning the MVP this year.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Let me just.
I'm sure Drake May's in that conversation too.
Drake May, I think Drake May gets second.
Matthew Stafford. Go ahead, Dustin.
What Stafford's done this year, just. 5 interceptions this year, and 3 of them came in one game. So you take that one game away, the guy's got 35 touchdowns and 2 picks.
By the way, now I'm not trying to make this back to an Eagles conversation. I just because Dustin brought it up, I was looking at that today. You know who's top 10 in passing touchdowns this year?
Jalen Hurts is.
No, thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, my quarterback can't throw the football, I've been told. But real quickly, just to get to the point there with Dustin, Matthew Stafford has a 112.1 passer rating, 4,179 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions.
Yeah. Like,
Wow.
that just what he, and 3 of those interceptions came in one game. So you take that one game out, he's got 40 and 2.
Was that the Panthers too?
Yeah, it was the 3 interceptions against the Panthers. Yeah.
This random opponent to throw 3 picks again. Well, hey, Jalen Hurts threw like 4 against the Jets a few years ago too. So,
and if I remember correctly, I might have to go through his game log. I think all 5 of his interceptions have come in 2 games.
One moment, please.
Because he might have, because I think he had 2 interceptions against Seattle in their first game.
No, he didn't, because I know for a fact he had 1 against us.
So then it was 1-1. So basically, all of his interceptions have come in 3 games. So if he's had 11 games without a pick, out of the 12 now, without an interception on the 15 games they played.
Yeah, I only know because I watched it at work. Zach Vaughn jumped in front of. I think he jumped the route in front of Higbee and took it away.
That's just nuts.
Real quickly, let's go to the other side of this now. Let's go to the Seattle side of this. Let's go to the controversial. I don't know if it's controversial, but let's go to that. Let's go to the 2-point conversion play.
I mean,
Tyler's camera just completely cut off on him.
Nice. That's
credit Zach Charbonnet for having the wherewithal to realize that was a live ball.
Yeah.
Charbonnet got very lucky.
And the funny thing about it was normally when there's a ball on the ground, they tell you to dive on it. Like you see a bunch of people just like diving on it. He just picked it up so nonchalantly and he's just like, oh, I'm going to just pick it up and stand in the end zone here and hand it to the official and see what they do.
Well, that's the thing. Did he really know it was a live ball? It seems like he was just picking it up.
No, he said he knew it was a live ball after the game. It was just the fact that he didn't want to act like it was a live ball to have the Rams defense react. So he was just kind of acting like nonchalant about like, oh, I'm just going to pick this ball up and take a step into the end zone and hand it to the official because he didn't want the Rams to react like it was a live ball. So he actually outsmarted the Rams.
Yeah, it was a crazy play.
Because if you watch it right before Charbonnet picked it up, there was 2 Rams linebackers right next to the football that were staring at the football. But then when they didn't see Charbonnet like kind of dive on the ground for it, they kind of just backed off and let him pick it up.
And this is the great saying, play to the whistle.
And I think that was the play that I think broke the Rams too, because that was such a gut punch for what just happened.
It wasn't a very fundamentally sound play by the defense.
You know, that actually happened in what game was it on Sunday? That happened on Sunday too in a game.
It did.
It was a lateral on Sunday that drilled a linebacker in the head and went the same direction. Oh, I can't think of the game it was now.
Oh, it was it the Eagles game? It wasn't the Eagles game, was it?
No, it wasn't the Eagles game, no.
Hold on. Because I know what you mean. It got batted down, but
it was a lateral that hit a linebacker in the head behind the line of scrimmage and bounced like 2 yards forward. On a screen pass. I can't remember what game it was, but it happened on Sunday. That's all I remember.
Well, I can tell you what we're going to stop seeing on 2-point conversions now. We're going to stop seeing We're going to start seeing more laterals.
Oh, well, yeah, we're going to see less backwards passes. They're not very. No matter what you do, you're throwing this ball straight horizontally or forward. If you're aiming backwards, just stop. Take a sack at that point.
Throwing it backwards is not a very good fundamental. Not a good fundamental at all.
No.
I think George has had it with us with that word tonight.
What?
I think my biggest takeaway with this game is that, I mean, it's been the entire year. We're just being proven that last year with Sam Darnold was no fluke, and that the Seahawks team is a legit NFC contender.
Yeah.
And you know that the 2-point conversion, the controversial one, that is what it is. How about the balls on Mike McDonald to go for 2 in overtime?
Oh yeah.
You knew he was.
Well, he had to.
Yeah, you knew he was going to.
He had to. You've seen on
Yeah.
how hot the Rams were. If he even thinks about giving the ball back to him, he knows they lose that game.
Yeah.
He had to.
Yeah. But still, that takes some guys. Just you'd be surprised. Some coaches coach scared. They're like, "Yeah, we'll just go for this. Whatever happens, happens." But
the coaches that coaches scared don't win playoff games.
I mean, I will say that Sam Darnold did slay one of his dragons, though, because heading into that game, he was 1-6 all time against the Rams, and arguably the 3 worst games of his career, besides the night that he was seeing ghosts on Monday Night Football, came against the Rams. Because last year, the 2 games against the Rams, Sam Darnold sucked. His first game against the Rams, Sam Darnold had 4 picks. So the Rams are the one team that still makes Darnold look like a mortal human being, and he finally got the chance to slay them in that one.
let me ask you all a question. Is Jackson Smith and Jigba a top 5 wide receiver in football right now?
Yes.
Yes. He still leads the league in receiving yards.
I was going to say.
The guy has 1 game this year. 1 game under 75 yards.
I can't say he's top 5 yet. So I think having Sam Darnold helped, because last year he was not top 5.
Well, no, was it a question this year?
You just said
top 5 this year.
Yeah, it was this year. Yeah, right now, currently right now.
Yes.
I can't say that because there's a couple of guys that aren't playing like top 5 receivers that I still think are top 5 receivers.
It doesn't matter how they're supposed to play.
Like,
it's what you're fucking playing, Dustin. Come on. Quit fucking beating around the bush on the question. Just because they're not playing. DK Metcalf's not playing like he used to.
He never was a top 5.
Come on, dude.
Justin Jefferson not playing like a top 5.
Jackson Smith
I would put him at
fucking
6.
number 1 right now, Dustin.
I would put him
number 1.
I put him at 6.
You're full of shit. Go ahead. Give me 5 better right now.
Jamar Chase.
I triple dog dare you.
Jamar Chase.
Nope.
I'm giving him Chase.
Nope.
I will give him Chase because
I'm not going to give him Chase.
Gone through, he's still playing well.
Give him Jamar.
Well, not at the elite level as Jackson Smith and Jigba. So sorry. Nope.
Jamar Chase.
Puka's on and off. I've got him on my fantasy. Not consistent enough.
No, Puka's almost all. He's only had games.
Puka, I'm going to say Puka's probably 2. I'll give you that.
Honestly, Puka would probably have him beat in receiving yards if he didn't miss those couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wait. I want to see where he goes with the. We have 3 more names I have to hear. Let's hear them.
Devontae Smith. I have Devontae
No
Smith.
way.
No.
Sorry.
Put the beer down. Put the beer down.
Talking to 2. Hold on. You are talking to 2 guys that watch Devontae Smith on a regular basis.
I love
he
Smith.
is a special talent at wide receiver. I love Devontae Smith. Jackson Smith and Jigba right now is better than Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Okay,
right now, this year.
I'm still going to put Amon-Ra St. Brown in the top 5. Even though he's having a down year for Amon-Ra St. Brown standards, he is still a top 5 receiver.
I don't think he's better than Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I do. He's just having a down year this year because they're using Jamison Williams more this year than St. Brown.
Okay, so that's word 4. Who's the 5th?
Justin Jefferson. Just because his numbers are what they are, Justin Jefferson is still a top 5 receiver. He just cannot get J.J. McCarthy to throw him the football.
I get
and that is
talent.
not his fault.
I get the talent. I do.
He has had J.J.
Lamb above. I'm putting C.D. Lamb above Justin Jefferson.
Oh, God, no.
Come on.
Justin Jefferson's made Josh Dobbs look like an all-pro. Justin Jefferson has made Nick Mullins look like an all-pro.
So why can't he make J.J. McCarthy look like an all-pro?
Because J.J. McCarthy doesn't fit Minnesota's scheme. He's not a stretch-the-field passer. He is a play-action passer.
Hold on real quick. Who said C.D. Lamb?
George.
All right, I'm not disagreeing with you. I can make the case C.D. Lamb's not even the best receiver on his team this year.
Yeah,
correct. I was just going to say George Pickens is going to be right there too.
But when you look at Justin Jefferson this year, he's had Carson Wentz as his starter for 5 games. And he's averaged 106 yards receiving with Carson Wentz as his starting quarterback. He's had J.J. McCarthy for 10 games, and he's averaging 40 yards per game with J.J. McCarthy because J.J. McCarthy can't stretch the field. You give him Carson Wentz for 10 games, he would be right up there with everybody in the receiving yards lead right now because you had a quarterback with
shoulda, woulda, coulda, but isn't.
He's still
your number one wide receiver right now is JSN. Just deal with it, dude.
I'm still not saying he's
deal with it. As much as it pains me to say it, because my kid is the Seahawks fan in this house, and I am not. It pains me to say that. Okay, you have no idea. I need to go vomit. Use mouthwash for crying out loud to say that the Seattle Seahawks are definitely showing. And am I a little concerned in 2 weeks? You're damn right I am. Because all the 49ers would have to do is win out, and the Rams and the Seahawks don't win the division. The 49ers do, and the 49ers get the bye week.
Speaking of which, by the way, the Niners are up 14-7 right now.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
Special teams turnover.
I'm pulling a Sam Nelson. I got the game on over here.
I do think it's going to end up being an all NFC West NFC Championship game though.
I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you.
Because whoever gets the 5 seed, whoever gets the 6 seed, are going to be able to knock off the 4 seed. They're going to be able to knock off the 3 seed, and then their one team's going to face Seattle, and they have a shot to knock them off, and then you probably have an all NFC West NFC Championship game this year.
Yeah, I don't have an argument. I do not doubt it. You're not going to get an argument out of me on that one at all. Everybody said that is the best division in football right now.
You're going to have 4 teams that could be 13-4, 12-5, or better.
And then one team has Jacoby Brissett.
Well, yeah.
Now hold on. Now, Dustin, a minute ago you brought up about the Sam Darnold effect for JSN. Hold on a second with that. Last year, JSN had 1,130 yards and 6 touchdowns with Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because they went from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. It's becoming like this because they got rid of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and consistently said JSN is the number 1 wide receiver on this football team.
No,
that's the reason why he's turned.
I agree there, but
I'm not saying Sam Darnold doesn't help. I'm not trying to take away what Sam's done. Sam's been tremendous for them. Yeah. Now, and again, look, if I'm going to ask you, first of all, the guy to the bottom of you there, he's been such a Geno Smith fan, I want to buy him his jersey. But anyway.
No, send Geno back to Seattle, man. Send Geno back to Seattle.
No, the guy below Dustin.
I can guarantee that if you ask most NFL experts, most NFL analysts, they will have not only Justin Jefferson as a top 5 receiver still, but they will still rank him as the number 1 receiver in the NFL because they are giving him a pass this year because of J.J. McCarthy. And just because of how inconsistent McCarthy has been. They're not discrediting JSN's season. They're not discrediting anything he's done.
I don't completely disagree with you on Chase and Jefferson. The others, Puka, I think they're with him and JSN, I think there's a conversation. If there is, I don't see if there's a gap between them, it's about that freaking thin.
So do you want to know the yard difference between the two? Because it's not much.
JSN
it's 45 yards that Puka's trailing him, and Puka
missed 3 less games.
Yeah. So if you want my opinion, best wide receiver in football right now is Puka.
Okay.
And another guy that I have in the top 5 just because of everything he did and everything he can still do. I still have Devontae Adams as a top 5 receiver. The guy is still going to give you consistently, when he's healthy, which he hasn't been healthy this year, but when he's healthy, he's still going to give you 1,300 yards or more in double-digit touchdowns every single year. Because what is the one thing Devontae Adams does better than pretty much every other wide receiver in football? He is arguably the best route runner in the NFL. His routes are ridiculous when he runs routes. And that's what makes you a great receiver. Not just your hands, not just your speed and your size, but when you get to be 32, 33 years old like Devontae Adams is, you still have to be a great route runner, which is what he is.
That's how Allen still found success himself with the Chargers again.
Yep, and that's what makes Mike Evans such a good receiver at his age yet. He's lost speed. He still has his hands. He still has the size. But Mike Evans is an amazing route runner and knows how to get himself open.
And that's why I'm glad. And I'm as much as I don't think he's better than JSN currently right now, I'm glad Dustin is able to recognize Devontae Smith for that, because Devontae Smith is also another one. Great route runner and footwork that is better than most guys in the NFL. Yeah. But, here's the thing, right? Now, Dustin brought it up, Devontae Adams, he has had a down year. Man, if my wide receiver 2's down year is 789 yards and 14 touchdowns, I'll take that all day.
That's the thing, though. This is going to be the first time, or the second time in his career that he's not hit 1,000 yards. That's a down year for him.
Oh, I know it is.
It's just that he's now being used more as the red zone target instead of the the everything receiver, because that's Nakua's job now. Like, Nakua is a do-everything receiver now, like Adams used to be. Now Adams is your red zone threat, where you need a red zone score, you go to Devontae Adams.
And the other thing with the Rams now, it's not just always going to be, even in the playoffs, when they're healthy, it's not just Puka and Devontae. You got to worry about Ferguson, the rookie tight end. He's been playing well. Parkinson's playing well. Oh, not to mention, now they have a double-headed monster with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. Yep. Blake Corum's got like 700 rushing yards this year.
Yep. It's one of the biggest steals in the draft.
That's one thing in Michigan you can find. It ain't going to be a quarterback, but you can find a running back.
The freaking Bears got to steal the damn draft, though.
I warned you about. I told you guys about. I was telling people about Monungai during the draft process. Trust me, when you live 45 minutes away from Rutgers University, you hear some things.
Kyle Monungai would be a starter on almost every other team.
Probably. All right. So there's 3 other games I really want to hit on before we move on to the college football playoff talk before we end the show. Panthers, Bucks, Jags, Broncos, Steelers, Lions. Where would we like to start this?
The Panthers, Bucks, since we're in the NFC.
Okay, fair enough.
The Panthers will probably win the division, and the Bucks will be going back to Florida, hitting the golf balls.
Bucks are in the same position that the Lions are in, just 2 injured. 2 bad. Yeah. They were 6-2 before their bye week, and they've gone 1-6 since their bye week, because that's when the injuries started.
Oh shit! The Colts center is out with a concussion. That is not good. Ouch!
Phillip Rivers, run.
He can't do that.
Oh my god!
So.
But yeah, the Bucks are 6-2, and they were actually looking like a legitimate Super Bowl contender when they were 6-2, because they were now just winning, but they were beating the freaking brakes off of people early in the year. But then once they hit their bye week, all the injuries piled up, and now they're 1-6 since.
Yeah, it took literally everything we had to beat them in Tampa, because we played them very early in the season. Yep. But now the last week 18 is the last one. We got Panthers, Bucks in Tampa. This week coming up is going to be the interesting one, because yes, the Panthers do have the quote-unquote division lead. However, the Bucks are in Miami, and the Panthers got the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers are losing to the Seahawks.
Bucks still have a shot.
Panthers to lose to the Rams too, and look what happened.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's the
difference. So that game was in Carolina.
It's not. It's in Carolina.
It's in Carolina. Yeah. It's in Carolina. It's going to be interesting.
The only advantage I give Seattle is got a better record with Mike McDonald on the road than they do at home. Seattle's a better road team than they are a home team.
That makes sense, right?
Since Mike McDonald has gotten there, I think Seattle has 10 losses. 8 of their losses are at home since Mike McDonald's gotten there. They are a better road team than a home team.
Well, I think they need a better slogan than
which is why people are actually making the case that Seattle has a better chance to go to the Super Bowl if they do not have home field, because they are a better road team than a home team.
I do just want to give some credit to Dave Canales and what he's done this year. Bryce Young actually does look like a adequate NFL quarterback this year.
Can we also give some credit to Todd Bowles, though, too, for the offensive coordinators that he has brought in? Dave Canales was his offensive coordinator for 2 years. Baker Mayfield played great under Dave Canales. Dave Canales goes to Carolina. He's got Bryce Young playing the best football he's ever played. Liam Cohn was the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay last year. Baker Mayfield played like an MVP for a large chunk of the season last year. Liam Cohn goes to Jacksonville. Now you got Trevor Lawrence not only playing the best football he's played, but you have Jacksonville looking like a scary-ass team in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles might not be a great head coach, but he damn sure knows how to pick good assistants, at least on the offensive side.
He does, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and like you said, I think Todd Bowles is a good coach, just like you said. There's no damn injured. We'll never know.
But he hasn't been that good, though. He's with the Jets, he was terrible. Granted, he didn't have a ton of talent, so I'm going to throw that.
Who isn't terrible?
I was going to say, whoever goes to the Jets.
But since
whoever goes to the Jets
Aaron Glenn's already talking to Dan Campbell. Yo, you want me back?
But since he's taken over as Tampa Bay's head coach, he's won 10 games, and now he's going to be 9-8 or 8-9. He hasn't been a great head coach. He does just enough to get into the playoffs.
For the NFC South standards, he's been good. Let's say that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Basically.
The NFC South has kind of been crap, so.
Yeah. It's basically been.
He's making it reputable, at least.
And I'm not going to be surprised this year if Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator gets a head coaching job this year and then goes to a team next year and turns their quarterback around.
Come on over to Cleveland. We got plenty.
Cleveland's already got their next interview lined up. They just have to wait for permission to interview him. And if you do interview him in Cleveland, you better hire him the day he gets there. Otherwise, it might be the biggest mistake you've ever made.
Oh, I heard about Billy.
It's not Billy.
Oh, no, I heard about Billy. Did you hear about Billy this morning? I did.
The Cleveland Browns want Jeff Hafley in Green Bay.
Okay.
Jeff Hafley is going to be one hell of a head coach when he gets that opportunity, which I think he's going to get it after this year.
Real quickly, I just wanted to bring this up when we were back on the Panthers real quick. Bryce Young this year, almost a 90 passer rating, 89.5, close to 2,700 yards, 21 touchdowns to 9 interceptions.
Mm-hmm. And remember, at the beginning of the season, he had more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah, and he's played really good football over the past several weeks.
I think he's had 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions over like his last 10 games.
Yeah. And I mean, they came off that. I mean, he threw 3 touchdowns and was 15-20 against the Rams. Mm-hmm. I mean, Tyler said it during the draft. Ted McMillan, he saw him as the future wide receiver 1. Man, he's been freaking amazing. He's been pretty damn good. 924 yards, 65 receptions, 7 touchdowns. If we could just get a consistent number 2 next to him between Jalen Coker and freaking Xavier Legette.
If I had to pick out of those 2, I think Coker has the better shot.
Yeah, I think Legette.
I don't know.
And then, not to mention, we went from a really good just RB1 and Chuba Hubbard to kind of having this little tandem with him and Rico Dowdle, which, by the way, I know Javonte Williams has had a good year, but nice going, Dallas. Anthony, it all depends on when you do it and how you handle it. But no, the Bryce Young benching, it seems to have lit a fire under him. And
guess who's got the most fourth quarter game-winning drives in the last 2 years?
I'm going to take a guess and say Bryce Young.
Yep, 12.
Wow.
12 fourth quarter game-winning drives the last 2 years for Bryce Young.
That says 2 things. Trust him to lead a fourth quarter comeback. Your defense push you into a situation to where you have to make that fourth quarter comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. But, I mean, look, how many years did Rico Dowdle sign with Carolina?
1 year, $5 million.
Because remember, last year they just extended Hubbard.
So
he was supposed to be their guy.
First thing if I'm the Panthers, their defense has been better too. They fixed a lot of that in free agency. Mm-hmm. First thing I'm doing in free agency, I'm extending Dowdle. I'm running that tandem back together, and I'm going to go try to find another wide receiver for some help. I think Jalen Coker could be good, but you still need another one. I don't know if Legette's that guy. Just keep building out that offense around Bryce Young. He's starting to put it together. But now let's move on to the AFC real quick, because Dustin just brought it up a minute ago about the Jags. Listen to this real quick. This is unbelievable stuff. Let me find my statistics here. All right. Got to find the statistics here. All right, here we go. In his last 4 games, Trevor Lawrence, 76 of 125, 1,194 total yards, 14 total touchdowns, no interceptions. Jags are 4-0 in those games and now are 11-4 on the season. Oh, not to mention they just went into Denver and dropped 34 points on the best defense in the league and the number 1 seed in the AFC. So who wants to start off with this one? Don't all jump at once.
I mean, they're 7-1 in their last 8. Like, what more do you want to say about that team right now?
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is they're one of the hottest teams right now, and they still have the Texans behind them, right on their heels, and they're also another hot team right now.
Yep. And they got to play them yet.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tons of fun.
Oh yeah.
I think the biggest turnaround came with this Jags team. Yes, Liam Cohen has done a tremendous job this year, but a lot of it came is when they traded for Jacoby Myers.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they extended him 3 years right away.
Mm-hmm. Their wide receiver room this year, Penn State guy, Parker Washington's been really good recently for them. He was kind of big game yesterday. But going into the season, we knew who the wide receiver 1 and 2 were. Brian Thomas has not been the same wide receiver he was in his rookie year. Now, he's been banged up a lot this year, but he had some drop issues early on in the season. Mm-hmm. Travis Hunter, he's missed damn near most of the season. So their wide receiver room was already gutted to begin. But Jacoby Myers he's come in, he's settled it down. He's been really damn good for them. Oh, here's the funny tweet of the night from Mike Garafolo. Alec Pierce was 3 years old when Phillip Rivers was drafted in 2000. Now they've connected twice on touchdowns. Are you
crazy? Are you freaking old man Rivers is throwing dots out there.
Yeah, I was going to say this game right now is a boat race.
Here's a question for you, and I know what the answer is going to be. But does Phillip Rivers somehow get comeback player of the year this year?
That'd be more legitimate than Geno Smith's.
Like, seriously, though. The guy hasn't stepped on an NFL field for 5 years. And now
this guy came back from all them kids to play football.
But it's not like he was actually working.
That's a fundamentally sound person.
He's been out of football for 5 years, and literally they called him on a Wednesday and said, "Here, come work out for us. We need a quarterback because the rest of our quarterbacks are hurt."
Well, they were talking to him prior to that. He was at a few practices here and there prior to all this, though.
I'm sure he was. He probably still. These guys still show up in the buildings.
Because I'm sure they knew they had that thought lingering. I mean, Daniel Jones playing through, was it a fracture in his leg?
Yeah. I mean, Jason Kelce still shows up at Philadelphia Eagles practices every day, and he's probably throwing down with the offensive lineman every day. There ain't no chance.
Anthony Thomas will be fine. He's been banged up this year. When he's healthy, I think he'll be fine. And yeah, it's going to be tough beating CMC out for comeback player of the year.
Yeah. CMC will be the clear favorite.
Didn't he catch another touchdown tonight?
Yes. He's the clear favorite.
All right, gents. Final NFL game. Thoughts on the ending to the Steelers and Lions game?
Ignorance on the wide receiving core of the Detroit Lions, because 2 plays prior to the ending, they had the touchdown, and the intermittent screen that had to be run didn't need to be run. So I think there was complete ignorance and not knowing where your head's at and know what the situation is. So that right there, I'm totally putting it on the Lions wide receiving core.
I mean, I just put it as a par for the course for the Lions this year, honestly. like what can go wrong will go wrong with that team this year.
Yeah, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, 7 carries for 2 yards.
2 yards.
I didn't have that on my bingo
card. Jared Goff said it best at the end of the game. Like, he wasn't blaming anybody for the offensive pass interference. He basically said, we've been on the right side of a lot of these games. We've been on the wrong side for a lot of these games. And he's like, this is just for a par for the course for us this year. Like, nothing is going to go our way this year. It is what it is. And we just keep fighting.
Yeah.
That was bad.
That
catch by Gainwell was sick,
I was going to say, shout out Kenny Gainwell for being the best wide receiver on the Steelers this year.
Nobody on the Eagles saw Kenny Gainwell was a good receiving back. No one saw this for 4 years.
No, I knew that, but I mean,
not the way the Steelers are using them, though.
Yeah. The way the Steelers use them is insane.
No, Tyler, listen. Kenny Gainwell has 410 receiving yards this year. His high in Philly was only 253 his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
But no, but like the thing was, like, you know, we talked about the Steelers a little while ago, talking about like who has Tomlin had at quarterback since Ben left. This is what you get when you have at least a capable quarterback. Because even at his age, Aaron Rodgers is still pretty damn solid.
Oh yeah.
And
when do you want to be playing your best football?
Now.
The Steelers were 6-6, and what are they right now?
So
they're 9-6.
The only thing that they got going for them right now is that they're going to be down DK Metcalf for the rest of the regular season.
They've been down DK Metcalf almost the whole season. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
it really doesn't matter.
He's still their leading receiver.
I cut him in fantasy by week 4. I was like,
fantasy football aside, he's their leading receiver.
Yeah, he ain't been Bo Diddley.
So, I mean, that not having him on the field, that's going to allow teams to focus in on other people, other players. And I mean,
dude, you can actually show a whole brand new Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver that the Browns will make look like a freaking future Hall of Famer? Sure.
No.
Sure.
The Browns defense plays teams tough.
Yeah, they do.
That's the one thing they'll do.
The game is in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Pittsburgh. It's going to be ugly.
Oh, yeah. I expect it to.
So well. Espo, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Espo?
Espo said losing to Phillip Rivers, who looks like a toss the pigskin in the backyard on Thanksgiving, pop, will breed endless memes. Oh, my.
I don't care what anybody says, though. I give Phillip Rivers a shit ton of credit.
Oh,
just for even attempting.
Absolutely.
Especially when your first game out was against Seattle's defense and you know that there was a legitimate shot like they could have knocked your freaking head off, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll go out here for the first time in 5 years. Sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He looks like he should be sitting on his couch with his freaking either with his flip-flops or his white New Balances on, having a cell phone conversation with George.
Did you not hear the meme that came out the other day? When they have the 15-year, not even 15-year, when they had the 10-year anniversary from when the San Diego Chargers left San Diego to go back to LA, you're going to have Team Andrew Cromartie and Team Phillip Rivers. It's going to be 11. All their kids.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Good night.
Wow.
That's 14 kids and Rivers has 11. So line them up 11v11, one on defense, one on offense. Let's celebrate the 15th anniversary from leaving the Chargers.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you for repopulating the planet, gentlemen.
That's the other reason why Phillip Rivers came back, because his health insurance is running out. Now he's got a 5-year window again.
He needed some more money to support them kids.
You didn't hear that? You didn't hear that when he came back?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah.
So when you retire from the NFL, you have 5 years of NFL health insurance after you retire. His health insurance was scheduled to run out on January 10th, 6th. So now that he came back and played, he's got 5-year extension.
Yeah.
So you're telling me when he's 50,
we'll see him again.
Anthony, Adam Thielen just got to Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. And he already had more receiving yards than DK Metcalf.
That's the funny thing, though. When they went to the older veteran receivers, they've all played. That's when they started playing better. Outside of, I know, right now the jokes are on DK Metcalf, but outside of DK Metcalf, they have not had really anything else productive in their wide receiver room.
No, they haven't. I mean, early on, Calvin Austin looked solid, but that was only the first couple of weeks, and it just fell off completely.
Aaron Rodgers don't like young receivers.
Yeah.
It's like the coach in draft day. He hates rookie quarterbacks because they're stupid. Aaron Rodgers hates rookie wide receivers because they're stupid.
But he loves him some Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Who had one catch for 6 yards, ironically.
Hey,
Speaking
Alan
of...
Lazard is working out for the Steelers tomorrow. So.
Oh, yeah. He'll be there.
We're
going to get the band back together.
Yep,
I've been calling that for weeks. Okay, so
he'll let him all sign a 1-year deal, and then he'll come back and sign a 1-year extension. We'll bring the band back together one more year. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So before we completely jump out of the NFL stuff, Tyler and I, we have a bit of a betting update.
Oh, that made progress?
No, Jonnu Smith had no yards yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I know that. He's going to have 0 yards the rest of the year. I'm fully prepared for that.
Pat Freiermuth has 372.
I blame Darnell Washington.
That's gross. Oh. Sorry. I just watched a high school basketball player fall off the rim. His knee went one way, his ankle went the other way. Oh. That's gross.
No, don't need to hear. I don't need to hear more gruesome injuries.
Oh.
Dad, your leg's not supposed to look like that.
All right, so Bruiser's laying out his feelings about the Steelers and DK Metcalf, but now his second party said that is the dumbest offensive pass interference call he's ever seen. Which one?
The one they called on DK Metcalf in the second quarter was fucking stupid. He was 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, and he pushes to go inside, and they call him for OPI. I'm like, you're inside 5 yards. You can freaking do what the hell you want inside 5 yards.
Wow.
He snapped the ball at the 40, and he was at the 37-yard line, and they called DK for offensive pass interference. I'm like, you are inside a 5-yard window. You can freaking maul the guy inside 5 yards.
Anthony said, is it me or is Brandon Ayuk becoming the next Antonio Brown? George, you want to answer that?
New England needs
hear you, George.
New England needs
No, I'm sorry. I don't think he's been arrested for attempted murder and fleeing to Dubai and being retracted back to New York.
New England needs another receiver next year.
So who else? Who else do we compare Ayuk to right now?
Ocho Cinco. T.O.
It's kind of a headache.
T.O.
T.O. is a headache.
It would be T.O.
I mean, T.O. is on the same team as Brandon Ayuk, so.
Tyler, be careful, because when T.O. left the Niners, he came to Philly. Be careful.
Oh, my gosh. Ayuk's going to come when we get rid of AJ at the end of the year.
Wow.
Oh, my God. No.
That was about as blatant.
No. Sam just went, no. Yes.
No, that was a blatant
Yes.
So wait, Bruiser is referring to the one on the goal line.
Yeah,
the one that wasn't reviewable.
Full arm extension. As soon as it's full arm extension, you're screwed. Good night. Game over.
So I got a question for everybody here, since I got to sign off in 2 minutes here.
Okay.
New England's looking for wide receiver help, right?
Yes.
New England owns the most draft picks in next draft. Likelihood of New England trying to make a push for Jamar Chase.
I think they make a push for AJ Brown.
They could make a push for even anybody, honestly.
The only reason why I'm asking is because you guys know who Paul Allen is?
Yeah.
Minnesota's pushing all their chips on the table for Joe Burrow this offseason. If Minnesota lands Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase is going to ask out immediately. New England has 12 picks that they can send Cincinnati's way for Cincinnati to restock and rebuild. You paired Jamar Chase with Drake May the next 3-4 years. You give Drake May wide receiver 1. You slide Stephon Diggs to wide receiver 2. You line Burrow up with Justin Jefferson the next 3 years since they both will have 3 years left on their contract. 90% of Minnesota's roster has 2 or 3 years left on their deals. You solve the issue that Minnesota's had at quarterback because you have a win-now roster in Minnesota. You have a quarterback who's got 3 years left where if you don't win in the 3 years, you pretty much know everyone's gone anyways and you're starting over. Minnesota has $20 million in dead cap space, and they have about $50 million coming off the books next year where they can afford Burrow. And in the process, you can give Cincinnati J.J. McCarthy as part of the deal.
I've always dreamed about Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson playing together.
As I say, it would have been back in the LSU days. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Wow. Go from one of his receivers to the other receiver.
I will say this real quick.
It makes sense for all parties, though.
It does. Because
it does make
because
sense.
Cincinnati gets picks.
Cincy needs to rebuild.
They will have a quarterback.
Even if they get what?
Yeah, they have a quarterback in J.J. McCarthy who will not be making any money. So even if they stick with him for 2-3 years, they can just suck and stockpile up the picks. Plus, they get the picks from New England. New England would have May and Chase paired together with Diggs. Then you'd have Justin and Burrow paired together. It makes sense for all three parties.
It does. It would just come down to, does Cincinnati want to commit to that rebuild, which they should.
Kevin O'Connell knows his job is on the line next year. And he's come right out and he's basically said, without throwing J.J. McCarthy under the bus, you need a veteran quarterback to run my scheme. Which is why Darnold has had success there, which is why Kirk Cousins had success in that scheme, and which is why Josh Dobbs had success in that scheme.
Do you think they just settle for Kyler Murray?
Nope, because you can't. Kyler Murray's not a stretch-the-field quarterback. You need a stretch-the-field quarterback for this scheme, which is why Kirk Cousins' best year of his career was his first year with Kevin O'Connell.
Yep.
Sam Darnold's best year of his career statistically was with Kevin O'Connell because he's got more interceptions this year than he had last year, and he's going to have fewer touchdowns. The two veteran quarterbacks that he's had running that system are when Minnesota won 13 and 14 games. Once Cousins got hurt, Minnesota went 2-9 after Cousins went down and finished 7-10 because they did not have another quarterback capable of stretching the field. He knows that McCarthy might be a good quarterback, but the way the offense is designed, the players they have in Addison, Hawkins, and Jefferson, and all these stretch-the-field receivers, you need a veteran quarterback that can stretch the field, and McCarthy just can't do it. It was Kwesi's decision to draft McCarthy, not O'Connell, because O'Connell wanted Michael Penix. Because Michael Penix was the quarterback when you looked at what he did in Washington. You had Rome Odunze, you had Tate McMillan. Two receivers that would run go routes all day, and Penix would just fire it. He would have had the same combination in Addison and Jefferson where he would just line up and fire it.
So then what happens with the Cousins-Penix situation in Atlanta?
Penix is going
to get rid of Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins' contract is up after this. It was only the first 2 years that was guaranteed.
It sucks that Bijan basically admitted that Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback in a post-game interview a week or so ago.
But do you not find a way to keep Cousins knowing that Penix has these lingering knee issues?
The system in Atlanta is designed for Cousins. It's not designed for Penix. That's the problem.
My point I was trying to make is I think Atlanta should try to cut ties with Penix and admit that they messed up.
They didn't mess up. They messed up.
They messed
up on the coaching hire. That's where they messed up.
I don't think Penix was ever a good fit for them.
No, he would have been a good fit if he had a different coach. Raheem Morris brought in Zach Robinson as his offensive coordinator. Zach Robinson came from the Rams. He runs a lot of what the Rams run. That is a system that is designed for Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins has a lot of similar strengths that Matthew Stafford has.
The guy that they paid for in free agency before they decided, let's go draft a quarterback this year.
And I'm not going to sit here and say Arthur Smith was a great head coach, but if they would have had Arthur Smith still in Atlanta, the Arthur Smith scheme would fit Michael Penix. They drafted the right quarterback. They hired the wrong coach from a schematic side of things, which is why Raheem Morris is going to be out the door in a couple weeks anyways.
Bryce, Kittle got a TD.
Raheem Morris has been a terrible head coach in the 6 years that he's been a coach. 4 years at Tampa Bay, he did nothing. And now he's gone to Atlanta, and he hasn't done nothing. And Atlanta has – when you look at that roster, you can make a case that Atlanta has the most talented roster in the NFC South, top to bottom. And they haven't done shit with it.
I don't disagree. I really don't. I thought Atlanta had a really good shot at winning that entire division this year if the quarterback position worked out.
Yeah.
I was almost having Dwight Clark flashbacks there for a minute.
Show your age, brother. Show your age.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're getting a preview of what Dueling Aces is like.
What's that?
They're getting a preview of what Dueling Aces on Tuesday looks like.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I do the entire time.
Hypothetically speaking, for a second here, if Burrow would go to the Vikings, and the Lions stay healthy, could you see the NFC North sending 4 teams to the playoffs?
Yes, because I honestly thought that was a shot that would happen this year.
Because you have to look at it from this scenario, Gio. The Lions and the Vikings are going to have 3rd and 4th place schedules next year. You put Burrow at Minnesota, Jared Goff on a 3rd place schedule, they're going to torch those bottom feeder teams.
Yeah, but that's going to be a lot of dependent on
I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, if it happens, you could legitimately have all 4 of those teams winning 11 games next year.
Yeah, you could.
And all getting in the playoffs as seeds 4, 5, 6, and 7.
That is crazy.
Because you give Minnesota a 4th place schedule with the roster they have, and if you give them a legitimate quarterback, they're going to torch the bottom feeders of that schedule. Same thing with the Lions. Injured or not, they're going to beat up on the teams they're supposed to beat up on. And then if they can go 7-1 against the teams they're supposed to beat up on, play 500 football the rest of the year, you're going 11-6.
Dustin, that is I really like that point of Joe Burrow to the Vikings. I really do like that.
And if you look, and this isn't just Paul Allen saying it, like you can go online right now and type in like Joe Burrow to Minnesota, and there are sources from Cincinnati, sources from Minnesota, sources from all over saying that Minnesota right now is the top landing spot for Joe Burrow this offseason. It's not just chatter from around Minnesota.
Well, no, and from what the interview showed from a couple of weeks ago, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just not having fun.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Burrow's gonna
red flag. That was a big red flag.
Burrow's going to force their hand, and right now the only defensive player the Bengals have is Aiden Hutchinson. He won't be back next year.
Yeah, he's not going to be back.
Burrow's going to force their hand to basically be like, I'm not having fun anymore. I don't want to be here. Well, you know damn well if Burrow gets traded, Jamar Chase is going to be like, I'm next. I don't want anything to do with who's coming after this. I'm next.
Yep. No, I don't disagree. I think it would probably take, I like the theory, especially with the Patriots having so many picks. You trade a first and I would say a first and a couple thirds.
That might be 2 firsts.
Patriots
probably 2 firsts.
It'll probably be a first, 2 seconds, and a third. So
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that.
And now, what about what Anthony says here? If Chase goes to New England, I know he says Higgins to New England, but what would happen with Higgins?
They'll keep Higgins for 1 more year because if they do trade, if McCarthy or somebody was part of that deal, they're going to want at least one reliable wide receiver there for at least 1 year.
Yeah,
and they might trade Higgins the following offseason. Because as much as Higgins is considered the number 2 guy, I think he's a lot more loyal than Jamar Chase would be. Like, I think Higgins would be more likely to play out his contract than Chase would.
Yeah, Chase would be wanting out of there.
Because Higgins had the opportunity to go and get a 5-year deal somewhere else a couple years ago. Because he could have gotten number 1 wide receiver money, and he chose to go to Cincinnati on a shorter deal for number 2 money. I give him credit.
Didn't you say that New England's got the money to kind of cover up on that dead cap hit for Chase?
Yeah, I was gonna look that up. I think New England was like towards the bottom. Hold on.
I was gonna say, I thought you said something about that. I was like, yeah, because New England they haven't had to do that much as far as spending the money. So I was gonna say, it sounds like they've got a pretty fat bankroll.
So right now, the Chicago Bears have the fewest dead money in the NFL at $8.6 million.
Oh, that is scary.
They literally have $8.6 million in dead money.
Wow.
That Ben Johnson's got that team set up.
Oh man.
For lots of success. The Kansas City Chiefs.
There goes the old man. The old man just went down.
Kansas City Chiefs are 4th on that list at $20.3 million in dead money.
That's all Mahomes.
And Kelsey. The Vikings are 5th on that list in $30 million in dead money, and New England is 7th on that list in $50 million in dead money. But if you restructure all that $50 million goes.
Yeah, I was going to say, New Orleans restructures that in a brain fart. So
yeah, New Orleans has $107 million in dead money right now.
Wow.
Let me just ask a random question before, because I know, Dusty, you say you have to get out of here soon. I want to ask this.
Yeah.
I know we're saying about Higgins, and he may stay a little longer. If he... Just say Chase and Burrow go. What if T just says, screw this, get me out of here too?
They would keep Chase up until the trade deadline. They wouldn't just basically bring in a quarterback with nobody to throw to. They would keep Chase until the trade deadline and then figure it out.
You don't think they'd pull it off during the draft?
No.
Because
it depends on what picks you're getting for New England. It depends on who you're taking. Because if Cincinnati does anything but draft defense, they're fucking foolish. So
they can, or they can do what they do last year and pick the worst defensive player in the first round.
Well, I was just going to say, but if you're going to get the first 2 seconds and a third out of New England for this upcoming draft,
they would take a wide receiver in the second round, but can you count on a rookie wide receiver day one? That's the thing. You at least want Higgins there to help out for the first 6 weeks and then turn the keys over after that.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, if we had to just hypothetical gun to your head, if you had to pick a legit one landing spot for T. Higgins, where would we think? If it were to happen.
Jacksonville?
That's tricky depending, because they actually healthy that
really you want to work with Calvin Ridley or you want to work with
honestly I could see Kansas City.
There's one team that should be knocking down the Bengals' door.
Buffalo.
Yes,
I was going to say Buffalo's needed a wide receiver for
Baltimore.
That's where I was going. I don't care if they're division rivals or not. I am.
Let me just put it this way. Any team that's lost to Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs would call T. Higgins.
I was going to say, I didn't think about Buffalo until you mentioned them. Buffalo definitely needs somebody.
Yeah.
They need a
Buffalo lost.
How about if you were really paying attention to the game, Keon Coleman, coach's decision benching. You benched your 2 wide receivers. It was coach's decision.
That's like the third time Coleman's been benched.
Because he's having so many character issues with the team, at the facilities, skipping meetings, being late.
Yeah, so like I said, it's right. Not good.
You want to take this serious?
2 wide receivers, though. I mean, come on, something. Something is
going on. Why not just throw this out there while we're at it? What about T. Higgins going to the Bears?
All right, you know what? Screw it.
They only have $8 million in
T. Higgins to the Eagles to pair with Devontae Smith.
And don't you remember what happened 2 off seasons ago? Don't you remember 2 off seasons ago? The Bears had the better offer than Cincinnati did for T. Higgins.
I do remember hearing that they had
he just didn't want to play with Justin Fields.
Well, yeah, Justin Fields would have had more rushing yards than T. Higgins would have had freaking receiving yards.
But now the Bears, they gave him the better offer 2 years ago. They have $8.6 million in dead cap money. They are going to have, when the salary cap gets released next year, the Bears are predicted to have $164 million in cap.
That's crazy.
So they're probably
they can go get T. Higgins and pair him with DJ Moore and Roma Dunze and Luther Burden and tell Caleb Williams, go fling it.
Or just turn around and grab one Mr. Smith out of Ohio and Ohio State and, don't even have to bother with T. Higgins.
The Bears won't pick high enough to get him.
Yeah, he'll be gone off the board too.
He'll be going top 5.
The Browns will be prepared to ruin him by the time the Bears will be picking.
No, don't say that.
The Browns won't take him.
Hey,
the Browns aren't that smart to take a wide receiver that early. They never have been.
Have a good holiday, guys. I got to head out.
See you,
All right, Dustin. You too, brother. I want to take a second here because, first of all, I think I wanted to use the button so bad, but I couldn't. I was shocked. I was witnessing Dustin and George agree on something.
I know, it was scaring the hell out of me. I got a headache. I think it's the drugs. It's the meds I'm on, trying to clear up the sinuses. I'm seriously, man. I cannot get that Joe Burrow to the Vikings out of my head.
I can't either because it seems more realistic. Like if you were talking about this 2 years ago, it's crazy.
Yeah,
but it seems so realistic.
Yeah, it's the most realistic thing I can think of right now, because we always talk about, we talk about on DA all the time. All right, where should they go? Where would they end up going? He just brought that up, and it's just like,
I don't think we talked about what would the package be. What do you think it would look like?
Oh, it's going to have to be I think we're talking at the least we're starting at 3 first-rounders.
That's what I think.
You're
sending McCarthy.
Well, I don't think Cincinnati's going to want him.
They might not. Honestly, if I was Cincinnati, Joe Flacco. How much longer you want to play, buddy? You got a year or two left in you to bridge the gap?
Yeah. I don't think Joe's going to be any worse for weary on it. And he could totally do it.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
And all you have to do is go draft yourself. Like he was, man, that's the other scary part. You're going to turn around and get some draft picks from New England, and you can go get yourself one of these guys?
You know what I would hate to see?
I mean, what are you going to do? Brown. Take Mendoza? I mean, Cincinnati takes Mendoza to move up and snag him?
Is Chase Brown going to get stuck?
Cleveland will be that stupid to trade out of the spot again.
Chase Brown will get traded.
Cleveland will definitely be that stupid. They'll trade out. They'll trade with Cincinnati. Why not? Because Cleveland loves their draft picks just as much. And then Cincinnati goes up and grabs Mendoza at 2. Okay.
Just so he can get traded to the Vikings 8 years later?
No.
We're doing this all again?
You literally have Flacco, and then you got Mendoza to learn right under Flacco. Why not? It's not a bad dude. I'm going to say it right now. Not a bad veteran to be learning behind.
No.
I wish.
You're not wrong.
I wish that somebody in Indy right now, there was actually somebody who was solid enough that they could sit there and learn from freaking Phillip Rivers, because that dude is just a damn genius.
Yeah.
I'll say it. That's why he was going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Anthony, I don't think the Jets are right now in the business of getting rid of their building blocks on the offensive side of the football. They're going to need someone for their next quarterback to throw the ball to. I like the thought process, though. No, because I'm at the point now where if Joe Burrow does not get traded or asked to get traded, at least,
I think
he's going to retire.
I think he is.
He has to, because if he doesn't, I think how he's been talking the past few weeks, this sounds to me like if I don't get out of this toxic situation, I'm going to retire because my body cannot take this anymore.
Yeah.
And, I've come to think of it, we like to make the jokes about the Bengals. they're not bad at addressing what they need. They're bad at evaluating the talent. Their defense was dog crap last year. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. You're telling me you thought Shamar Stewart was a better college football player than Jahad Campbell? Jahad Campbell's the best linebacker in the country last year. And you thought that was the right thing to do? And not to mention, let's be real. They've brought in offensive linemen. They drafted them. They've traded for them. They've signed them. They cannot evaluate talent outside of 3 positions.
Yeah.
And if Joe Burrow, I'm telling you, that's where I think we're at. I don't think Joe Burrow, he doesn't look like it. This doesn't look like Andrew Luck, where he literally says, I cannot take hits in football anymore. I can't do it. This to me looks like if I don't get out of this toxic situation, I'm going to retire. This is more of a reminder for me of, not completely, because he never got to this point, I don't think. This is reminding me of Matthew Stafford in Detroit. Except the Bengals are not smart enough to make the trade even. Wherever Burrow goes, that team's going to be great. The Bengals will suck for decades.
Yeah.
Which they deserve, because the front office and their ownership's a joke.
Oh, kid almost had a nice one-handed touchdown grab. Dropped it.
Let me just get to these 2 quick comments real quick.
Did you see the 2 guys with the 49ers Iron Man helmets?
No, I missed that.
Oh, before the McCaffrey run? That was pretty good.
Oh, that would have been a hell of a catch if he got that.
Yeah,
Anthony,
Bryce started Kittle, so...
Anthony, the package will have to be massive, and it needs to get done, because Joe Burrow... I literally had Joe Burrow as my number 1 quarterback heading into the season because of how great he is. He's a great quarterback. He needs to be saved. We have got to save Joe Burrow.
I agree. Save Joe.
We are going to start that movement when the Super Bowl ends. Save Joe Burrow.
I say we start it now. Why wait till the Super Bowl?
Oh, because there's no saving him now.
You can't save him now.
Don't let him even play any further.
Too late for that. The Bengals don't care.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Before we get out of here, listen. College football playoff. I have no interest talking.
There's one game.
2 games.
2 games. 2 games. 2 games.
Hey, Bama, Oklahoma was a good game.
It was a slow burner, but yeah, it was good.
You know what the biggest takeaway in that game was, right? Now, we saw that, John Matier can pass the football. We know that. He can do it. But he is at his best when he can be that dual threat quarterback. Alabama, did you see Matier's rushing numbers on Thursday or Friday? He had 15 carries for 19 yards.
Wow.
Alabama completely took his legs out of that game. And now all the people complaining, do they deserve to be in now? Because they just went into Oklahoma, who has a really good defense, and erased a 17-0 deficit to win the game by 10. You win that game by 1 or 2 points after you're down 17, that's crazy. To come back and win by 10? That's uncalled for. Ty Simpson made plays when he had to.
Ty Simpson played really good. Very solid. 232, 18 for 29, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers.
Yeah. And he outplayed John Matier. Matier was fine. It was like 26 for 41 for 300 yards. Yeah. But turned the football over, didn't run the ball effectively like he usually is. Like I said, he has not been the same since that hand injury.
Yeah. I think this is his best game he's played since that injury, but he hasn't been the same.
Don't disagree whatsoever. And now,
we're going to talk
Saturday
about
afternoon.
The elephant in the room. Listen,
too late.
The other 2 teams are there because they are trying to do a balancing act. You've got to balance out. You cannot have the NCAA doesn't want to have just the Power Four. The NCAA wants to balance all this crap out.
It's called the Power Four for a reason.
But they're going to keep adding and adding. You'll end up with somewhere around 16, to 18 freaking, teams eventually in this crap. And you're going to be sitting there going, come on. And it's going to be forever. You're going to be starting the season at the beginning of August instead of, because you can't push it past the end of, January. So you're going to have to turn around and start it earlier than August.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, right? We know, and I agree with you, George, they're not going to take away. They're going to add. I think all you have to do is really add. I mean, look, is there really... We could make the case, defense. Right?
I don't know why they threw a flag.
Let's be
I thought
real,
that was well timed.
Yeah, I thought that was very well timed. Wow, that was a shitty call. Sorry, Sam.
No, you're fine. Oh, Anthony, get them, Anthony. Texas A&M was the third best team in the country almost the entire season.
Anthony, no agreement at all there, none.
No, what Saturday proved is the team that beat them deserved to be in the playoff.
Yeah, they played really strong defense, holding them out of the end zone the entire game. And honestly, Beck played a managing game, but it was really the run game from Fletcher that sparked them in the second half. And that's how they won. If he doesn't get going in the second half, they do not win that game.
Am I the only one that was mad when the kid ran in for the touchdown? I said, "Oh, go down." But then I thought to myself, wait a second, that may not work. We've already missed like 6 kicks in this game.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Carson Beck played a very well-managed game. What did we say about Carson Beck? I don't know if he's going to win you this game as long as he doesn't lose it.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't take you out of it.
But, dude, that Miami defense, 7 sacks, held A&M under 100 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
They dominated. Reuben Bain's going to be a problem in the NFL, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Reuben Bain's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think that the Buckeyes are going to – it's not going to be a cakewalk. They're going to earn it.
Well, without a doubt. I still think Ohio State's going to win that game, which, Tyler, by the way, I just realized all round 2 games are before next Friday, so we have to preview round 2 this Friday. I just realized it.
Nice.
Really?
It'll be a very – but no, I mean, look, for Anthony to say A&M didn't deserve to be in, that's absolutely ridiculous. But wait, where's this now? Wait, hold on. What the okay, why is there it is. Okay, sorry. The way the score does this is very weird. But just go back to this real quick. Yeah, A&M, 90 yards rushing for the game. Miami had 7 sacks. They had 3 takeaways. They were just dominant on the defensive side of the ball. And, Marcel Reed, not his best game. But you know whose best game it was? Mm-hmm. Freshman Bryce Fitzgerald. 2 picks. But no, Tyler, you're absolutely right. With the way that Miami was able to actually run the football in this game, and I mean, Fletcher had the big run to set up the game-winning drive.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we knew that it wasn't going to be a great passing game. I mean, yeah, Reed had a solid day, but he still turned the ball over twice. But, and the other thing with Marcel Reed, solid running quarterback, they took a lot of his lanes away, too. He only had 27 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he averaged like 1.8. Not effective.
Yeah, it's going to be a very round. Now the entertaining stuff gets going. Now we can get to the entertaining rounds.
Oh, yeah.
And just real quick before we sign off, I understand, George. I agree with what you're saying because, like, here's how I look at it. Right. Let me just ask you guys this question: if this was a 14-team format this year, would we really be complaining?
No.
Because essentially Notre Dame and BYU would both be in.
And they'd both be crapping the bed anyway. No.
But okay, but either way, right?
Yeah.
You're never, like you said, and I agree with you. They're not going to take away. They're going to add.
Mm-hmm.
If you just say we have this the 12-team format, but we took out JMU and Tulane, but we added BYU and Notre Dame. There is a case, not to everybody, but there is a case that if that was the 12 teams this year, every single team in the playoff would have a case to win the national title.
Yeah, but and this is the other thing is conference champions should be there. So I'm sorry, there was somebody who was a conference champion that was not there. I mean, yeah, granted, it was Duke, but I mean, still, hey, they're gonna put.
Here's Duke shouldn't have even been in that ACC game. I still don't know how they found their way in there.
Dude,
no idea.
This is the best thing about football is anybody can win at any given time. I'm telling you, honest to goodness, those past 2 years that Pat and we coached this junior high team over here, everybody kept saying the year, and I was privy because I was on the 8th grade crew the year before, and they turned around and it wasn't just from one team, but heard it from a couple of teams going, yep, just another stepping stone on using Vermilion for our path. And I was like, you guys got to be kidding me. So when we got a hold of them, these kids on the 7th grade year and we went undefeated, I was like, yeah, how do you like us now? Wait till you see us next year. And then we turn around and just whooped on everybody and never let anybody get a first down in a second half of a ball game. Oh, this year we got our butts waxed for it. I mean, waxed. One particular school, which will remain nameless, even asked, where's the other coach at? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. You were looking for so-and-so? Oh, no, he's up on the varsity level now. I'm sorry. He got moved up. Oh, well, I thought that's who we were going to be playing against today. No, sorry about your luck. No, you don't worry. Your JV team, they'll pay for it tomorrow morning. Don't you worry. And sure enough, on the bus ride back, I let my boy Pat know about it. And yep, JV team took care of business and waxed their JV team the next Saturday morning. So I was like, yep, it happens. It's like, yeah, varsity was varsity, but he also had the JV group. And once the JV group turned around and got a hold of that crew, I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, that's where the dude is at. And yes, they're still kicking ass, for going on a 3rd year. Congratulations. So, oh yeah, I mean, anytime. And that's the best thing about it. And I mean, we beat Sandusky. We beat Avon Lake. Avon Lake is a Division I school. We're a Division IV. For 2 straight years, we waxed them. And they turned around and they told us after last year, they no longer are going to play us. They told us they are having us taken off their schedule. And we're like, well, whatever. And guess what? Yeah, this year, they were not on our schedule. We ended up with another team over in Olmsted Falls instead. But Avon Lake was like, no, we're done. The problem is they don't like losing to a Division IV school. They just don't like it.
The 49ers kicker just
and it's like,
doinked the 64-yarder off the front of the goalpost. Almost had it. Probably a half a yard, not even half a yard. Give it an extra foot, and it squeaks through.
What's that?
Pinheiro just tried to nail a 64-yarder to go into halftime, and it hit the front post. Like, he nailed it. It was right down the middle. Hit the front post, bounced out.
Well, why does it say 17 then?
No, 49ers.
Oh. Oops.
Anthony, I have had that comment pinned for a sec. I'm going to have to save that answer for Friday.
Yeah, you're going to have to find out on the Friday night gridiron picks.
Anywho, guys, awesome show tonight. Holiday episode. Had the full all-star crew in here and Tyler. But anyway.
Thanks for having.
Go on the bottom.
That's fine. Want to thank George battling through the sickness for joining us tonight. Want to thank Dustin for joining us. It must be the season of giving because you two agreed on some things tonight for some way.
Oh, I did try. I tried to poke. I got poking in the bear.
Oh, there was still some debating that was ignited tonight. Trust me, we know. Yeah. But it was an awesome show. Thank you both for coming on tonight with us. Absolutely fun time. Guys, for everyone who commented in tonight, thank you all so much for joining us. We hope all of our fans, all of our friends have a safe, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and whatever you celebrate with your friends and family. We hope you guys have a great holiday. And before we sign off, we owe you guys a thank you. Last night, the 609 YouTube channel hit 300 subscribers. So I want to thank all of you guys for making that possible. You guys are the absolute best fans in the independent sports talk radio world. And we want to say that we are grateful for every single one of you. So, guys, we're going to get up on out of here. Friday night gridiron picks this Friday at 8. NFL Week 17. College football playoff round 2. Going to be a big show. Enjoy the holidays, guys. Be safe. Stay healthy. Enjoy time with your loved ones. And we will see you guys on Friday. For Tyler Adams, the man known as George G3, I'm Sam Nelson. And for our other special guest, Dustin Reese, good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what